We know that the audio sucks. We already know that.
We're working on a workaround.
Your audio sucks. We're like, Hi.
That's just what Ryan sounds like in real life.
Yeah, if you meet real life.
Have him talk through a mic with a bunch of modulation so that he sounds like a normal human being.
I'm also very overmoved. I move very jerky.
Do you have the radio like that? Yours is just muted right now.
All right. Well,
hey,
we're gonna do the pre-show because we don't
want it to be unmuted because then the radio will be.
Okay. So the YouTube poll for today is: should the new Republican majority remove certain Democrats like Ilhan Omar from being able to serve on committees?
But do you have
two options there? Yes or no?
Connected to your
but we also want you to comment in the chat and tell us. You can read that out at the end of the show, and we can share with everybody how intelligent you are or what you're thinking about that. We also have Steve Moore is going to be on at 107, distinguished in economics at Heritage.
Yep, distinguished fellow,
as opposed to an average fellow like Ryan and myself. And then at 125, we're going to have Brian Kilmeade on, and he's going to talk to us about some news of the day, but he's also going to talk to us about the Kilmeade event that's coming up on December 9th.
I wonder if he'll call it the Kilmeade event.
I don't know. Hopefully they do.
Or the me event. You know? We should ask him what his pronouns are in general.
Let's not.
Is Brian Kilmeade a distinguished fellow, or is he an average fellow?
I would say he's a distinguished fellow.
Okay.
Just not a distinguished fellow at Heritage.
Okay. So he'll be on live at 1:26. That's cool. My segment today is about lipstick and what it says about the economy. So I will invite Brad in for that, and of course the girls will be able to.
What about that YouTube poll?
We talked about that.
Okay.
And the YouTube poll is: should the new Republican majority remove certain Democrats like Ilhan Omar from being able to serve on committees? Yes or no?
They even talked about you when they talked about the YouTube poll.
Ouch.
We could see that I was not focused.
She was doing other
important things.
Yeah.
Ouch. Here's the thing. If you're just tuning in right now, we know the audio is happy. What are we doing about it, though?
We're working on something.
Can you make it? What is it?
You ready, or do you want me to move?
All right, we're gonna probably wrap this up here in a second.
Yep, Annie's got a lot.
No, I'm not gonna do it yet.
Oh no? Are we pushing it back?
We're just gonna move it a minute. Hannah and I we got it under control. You guys just keep talking.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
You hear that?
What I think is
neat. Get that permission.
Are you taller than me? Let's have this discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Easily.
But if I step forward, don't I look like I'm just as tall as you?
Brad's about 5'7". You're around 5'5" height.
You're not. I thought you were much taller than me, but you're not a lot.
That is fake.
How about me with heels on?
Let's see.
Hannah with heels.
Yeah.
Hannah's got Ryan.
No, she does not.
No. I'm so much taller than Hannah.
I'm small. You're short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells like well done cheese.
Yeah. And you're all invited. All you need.
Annie, you ready?
With a promise ring inscribed with both of your initials. Our jewelry consultants will make it easy. At Shane Company, we give you so many ways to create gifts infused with meaning. Treasures they'll have forever.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
97.1 FM Talk is embracing the spirit of giving to support the Tree of Hope at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. And we need your help. Funds raised help the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance, but so necessary to a child's recovery. Most importantly, all children at Cardinal Glennon receive the best care, regardless of their family's ability to pay. Thank you for supporting Cardinal Glennon. Please make your donations to the Tree of Hope today at 971talk.com, Cardinal Glennon, or text the word HOPE 20357.
Give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. The Steel Holiday Gift Guide has outdoor power tools and more for everyone on your list. Visit your local Steel dealer or go online to STIHLUSA.com/gift guide.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Hairsaloon.com, online at hairsaloon.com. If you're looking to get your hair cut, here's the holiday season as it is upon us, I want you to check out here, so you'll be glad that you did. These people understand exactly how to treat gentlemen when they come in to get their haircut. You can make your appointment online. Very simple to go to hairsaloon.com, and quickly you'll be able to see the different types of products that they offer, the different services that they offer, and you'll understand how they've created an atmosphere that believes and shows that men deserve to be treated better than the in and out that you might get at another walk-up haircut place that's going to have you surrounded by lots of people, including screaming kids. Let's set that aside. Let's go to Hair Saloon. Let's enjoy the experience of relaxing, of being guaranteed to get that perfect haircut each and every time. Hot towel in mid, complimentary shoe shine, and a complimentary beverage, the whole atmosphere. It's exactly what you've been waiting for. And you just got to go make an appointment right now online at hairsaloon.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
I'm glad someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they read my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is anchor man, not anchor lady.
I'm not a man to sleep.
You just say this. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not married to
This is the Annie Frey Show. Something I said from the very beginning. Eric Swalwell cannot get a security clearance in the public sector. Why would we ever give him a security clearance in the secrets to America? So I will not allow him to be on Intel. You have Adam Schiff, who had lied to the American public time and again. We will not allow him to be on the Intel committee either. And Congressman Omar, her anti-Semitic comments that have gone forward. We're not going to allow her to be on foreign affairs.
So there's Congressman McCarthy, who is expected to be the new Speaker of the House, and Republicans take the majority when the new Congress is sworn in January. And he's making some decision. He's decided that there are going to be people in the Democrat Party who are not going to be permitted to serve on these committees. Now, this is not like a new, really like politically shrewd thing that was first and foremost come up with by Republicans. This is actually something that Nancy Pelosi did. She removed Marjorie Taylor Greene from her ability to serve on committees and basically made Marjorie Taylor Greene what I would assume is pretty much a campaigner 100% of the time. Good move or bad move? We would love to hear what you think. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Monday. It's Thanksgiving week. We're excited that you're here with us today. We are hoping that maybe you get to have a shortened week this week and get to spend some time with friends or family or people who you love to celebrate a great holiday here at Thanksgiving on Thursday. And today's YouTube live chat poll is: should the GOP majority remove certain Democrats like Ilhan Omar and from being able to serve on committees? Yes or no? You can go ahead and go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and you will quickly see that that poll is up there in the live chat section, and you can weigh in. I have to say, to see the Democrats get kind of bent out of shape about this is kind of humorous to me. And it's very par for the course. This is essentially something that they just did to Republicans when Speaker Pelosi became the speaker again, is they removed certain people from being able to serve on committees, and Republicans did not like it. They threw, a little bit of a fit about it, rightfully so or wrongfully so. This is where we come to this moment in time, and the Democrats say, listen to all you people, how you threw a fit when Marjorie Taylor Greene was not allowed to serve on committees, and now you're doing the very same thing. So the question for Republicans is going to be, are you making good, shrewd political moves that are for the betterment of the country? And if you're a Republican, you think that Republican principles, conservative principles, are what is better for the country. Is having somebody like Eric Swalwell on a security committee, is that what is good for the country? I think you can pretty easily make the determination that it isn't what's best for the country. We'll be paying attention to more and more things that develop here over the course of the next probably 6 weeks or so as we lead into the when the new Congress is sworn in. What are the Republicans prepared to do on day one of them actually taking that majority? What do you want to see them do? What do you want to be able to see them execute in a very, very quick fashion? There is not any time to waste. Meanwhile, this weekend, this was developed.
Digital forensic investigator Mark Lanterman was previously a member of a Secret Service electronic crimes task force.
There was one thing that got my attention, and that was a voicemail. Dad, I called and said, I love you more than the whole world, pal. I gotta get some help.
That voicemail, apparently from Joe Biden during his son Hunter's drug addiction, is one of many findings Lanterman used to authenticate what is believed to be Hunter Biden's laptop data.
You're confident, based on your analysis, this is Hunter Biden's data and that it's real.
Knowing that the data on the laptop is real is new reportable information from CBS. This is going to be one of the lead concerns in the media. It's going to be one of the lead issues that is covered and focused for people to pay attention to grab their popcorn and to follow along. And it's going to be made to be the only thing that the Republicans in the new Congress are focused on. It's Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden. This is not about Hunter Biden. This is about President Joe Biden. Happy 80th birthday, by the way, President Biden. It's kind of a no covered story over the weekend, but the president has in fact turned 80. Let's listen to a little bit more from what the Republicans are focusing on when it comes to the Hunter Biden laptop and the concerns they have that tie the laptop and its contents, the connections that it makes between Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, and the questions that surround that activity based on how this family was trading across the world to make themselves wealthy on their name, which was a very politically rich name with great political power in the United States. There's Congressman Coleman.
99.99% of Americans will never get a suspicious activity report. These were created after September 11th for the government to be able to track suspicious foreign transactions coming in to fund terror sales. It's expanded over time to help law enforcement track things like money laundering. But when a bank files a suspicious activity report, that's the bank notifying the federal government that we're pretty certain our client has committed a crime. Hunter Biden and Jim Biden have at least 150 of these. We believe Joe Biden's name was on some of those accounts. That's why we want them. But the suspicious activity reports are very detailed as to why the bank suspected that criminal activity was taking place by the Bidens.
So 150 of these suspicious activities reports filed. If it's filed once, then there's suspicion of criminal activity. If Joe Biden's name is on those accounts, think for a second. I mean, for the people who are like, this is just political jockeying. This is, revenge from the Republicans to the Democrats for what they did to Donald Trump. First of all, there's nobody who's been investigated more than Donald Trump. He's continuing to be investigated. He will continue to be investigated. He is a free and innocent man as far as the entire justice system is concerned. At this point in time, they have not gotten him on anything that they've accused him of doing. And the entirety of the time that they've been throwing incredibly lofty accusations towards Donald Trump, he was having to lead. He was having to administrate. You think that wasn't an in-kind contribution politically to his opponent? With what evidence did they pursue the impeachments that they took on? With what evidence did they pursue many of the other very salacious allegations that they threw at him? What kind of actual evidence do they have that Joe Biden may have been involved in some illegal activity that includes global business deals based on the presence of Joe Biden in American government at very high levels. If you think for a second that I'm going to buy that Donald Trump having a joint bank account with a couple of his family members, his son, his daughter, potentially his son-in-law, if President Trump had joint bank accounts with those people in his family, and there had been 150 reports filed that suggested that there was illegal activity there, I promise you that all of the mainstream media would be pants on fire, running around yelling, "Everybody, look at this! We finally got him!" I mean, Joy Behar said on The View that one time that they finally got him, and she was wrong. Rachel Maddow got the tax returns and made a big story out of the fact that they finally had got him, and there wasn't anything there. Story after story after story would materialize and crescendo into these moments where nothing ever actually came of them because the ends always justified the means. The Democrats knew what they needed to do. They needed to take down Donald Trump, and they were just trying to shake every tree to see what would come out on the way there. Now there is some evidence that suggests that Joe Biden might have been involved in illegal activity with his family members. This would, according to the Democrats' roadmap, at least warrant an investigation. No? Well, I'm not foolish, and I know that they're not going to say that. But guess what? The Republicans have the majority.
What we showed at the press conference was a map of the United States in Chinese, where all the natural gas distributors were highlighted. And the business model that Hunter Biden was presenting to the Chinese was a way for China to come in and not only buy liquefied natural gas from America, but also to start buying ownership in the drillers so that China could start taking ownership in our American energy company. And remember, we also showed emails and text messages that showed Joe Biden was going to be a 10% equity owner in this business. He was even going to have office space in this business. This is very troubling at a time when America is faced with record high energy prices because of bad policies from this administration.
So what the congressman just did there is he connected it to you specifically. Now, any politician doing business deals or family members doing business deals, trading on the family name, that if it's on the family name that has the boost of power and association within American government to potentially get things done one way or the other, that is your business. But now you look at the fact that Joe Biden, his son, Hunter Biden, was working business deals across the country, including in Ukraine, of all places, as an energy consultant when he has zero understanding of anything that has to do with energy. And now you look at where a lot of money is going, and you look at the cost of energy prices for you, and you have to be wondering, can we get some answers to some of these questions? Maybe there's a perfectly logical explanation, but the question should be asked. I'm not here to say lock him up right now. I mean, it's pretty evident that Hunter Biden has been involved in a lot of illegal activity. Most of the illegal activity that surfaces to the top that is salacious and dramatic doesn't really affect my life. But some of it absolutely does. And I feel like that's the stuff that's been squashed. That's the stuff that's been held back so that you don't find out about it because it's going to affect more than just Hunter Biden. Knowing that this information is out there on a laptop and they have it in their possession and it deserves an investigation to get us the answers that we finally need to know, is there a there? And we will find out when the Republican takes the new Congress and continues to investigate.
We're going to subpoena whoever the investigation leads us to subpoena. We're serious about this. We're going to start with the bank records. We need those bank records. You've seen countless emails and text messages where Hunter has complained about having to keep his father up. There's no question that Joe Biden was receiving benefit from Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's only source of income were our adversaries in China and Russia. So this is very concerning. The American people deserve answers. We deserve to know if we have a White House that's compromised by China, and that's going to be our priority in the House Oversight Committee.
So you have a Republican majority that is starting to make some moves. You know that they're going to look into this Hunter Biden, Joe Biden corruption allegation. You know that they are going to take people like Eric Swalwell and Elon Omar, and I can't remember who the other one was. They're going to take them off of these committees because they don't have a responsibility there. And according to the Republicans who are in charge now, they've proven that. So they're no longer going to be on the committees. I want to know how you feel about this type of edge that the Republican Party is taking. So that's the YouTube live chat poll today. Should the Republican majority remove certain Democrats like Ilhan Omar from being able to serve on committees, yes or no? Go give us a vote in the live chat. You go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. You can watch us and say hi to us there and leave your comments if you so choose as to why you voted yes or no. Would love to know what you think. And kind of in a broader sense, even if it's not just about this poll, I would love to know what you think about some of these commitments that the Republican majority is making to the American people that they're going to do with their new power in Congress. Let's take a quick break. We're going to have more Annie Frey Show, of course, right around the corner. In the 1 o'clock hour, though, Steve Moore and Brian Kilmeade. Looking forward to talking to each one of those gentlemen when we come back. Let's get to a few more of the news stories from the weekend. Go away.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
It's a damn
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Recent impacts from inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all in the markets of edge. IC Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. IC Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
So cajonesinc.com is the website. You can go there and play with some of their buildable house plans. I love doing this and customizing different homes. And I've even messaged some of the people at CA Jones to ask them some questions about some of the features they have on their homes. How can you make the house that they have listed there? They have so many plans available, different sizes, different bedrooms, different bathroom counts. I think that CA Jones builds some of the most beautiful homes on the Illinois side of the river. And the thing that I love the most about them is every single one that I've been into, and I've been into a lot of them, every single one is different. So just because there's a plan that's on a website, you can still do so much to customize it to be your very own space. If you are looking to build what you're finding on the market right now, it's not exactly what you want. Consider the fact that building is a great option right now to get what you have always dreamt of, especially if you're thinking about maybe downsizing from that big house that you live in now that you're empty nesters and having a nice one for guests to come over, but where everything is exactly where you want it to be. Visit them online at cajonesinc.com.
Diamonds Direct is celebrating the holiday season by extending our special 20% savings offer through this weekend. So, you have a few more days to take advantage of the best prices of the season, an extra 20% off store-wide. Start your holiday shopping now and save big. Everything is included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, and yes, thousands of engagement rings are now an extra 20% off. Our selection for the holidays has never been better, and that includes our breathtaking collection of loose diamonds, hand-picked exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Don't miss this special extension of our biggest and final store-wide sale of the year. Through this weekend only, save an extra 20% on a multi-million-dollar inventory of fine jewelry. Ask about special financing, too. Diamonds Direct. Get all the details at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
With PatriotSoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
Whitechapel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
So it's very easy to use. From the login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year, I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
Brian Kilmeade here. I'm coming back to St. Louis December 9th at the Missouri Athletic Club for a Brian Kilmeade live event with my friends at 97.1 FM Talk.
Brian Kilmeade Live is presented by Straight Realty.
For tickets, go to 971talk.com/events.
You're listening to the Early Fry Show. Find the podcast on demand audio and more at 971talk.com/annual.
And like internship on Twitter, and out of an abundance of caution, CBS News is pausing its activity on the social media site as it continues to monitor the platform major.
That was great. And back on CBS took a hot second break on the pause. I think it's like maybe they're having some issues with CBS News, and they're like, we don't have anybody to tweet. We don't have anybody to tweet right now. What are we going to? I don't know. Let's just like pause. Let's just take the weekend off on Twitter. And then Monday, they're like, hey, we're back. After a brief pause, we determined that we are going to be back. It's silly, isn't it? Well, Twitter was quite the place to be this weekend. Friday, Saturday evening, Trump back on Twitter.
My question to you is, what do you think about Elon Musk buying Twitter? And if you are reinstated, will we see you back on Twitter again?
Well, I like that he bought it. I've always liked him. I got along with him very well during his president and got to know him pretty well. But I do like him. I've always really, he's a character. And I tend to like character, but he's smart. He did put up a poll, and I hear it's very overwhelming, very strong. But I have something called Trump. If you look, it's Trump-owned, but it's really fantastic. Truth Social. And Truth Social is through the roof. It's doing phenomenally well. The press hates to talk about it, but it's doing phenomenally well. I think engagement is much better than it is with Twitter. And it's taking care of voices that really want to be taken care of. Really smart voices, brilliant voices, voices that in many cases are both sides. But I can tell you there's a lot of voice for Israel, a lot of power for Israel in Truth Social. So Truth Social has been very, very powerful, very, very strong. And I'll be staying there, but I think we're getting a big vote to also go back on Twitter. I don't see it because I don't see any reason for it. They have a lot of problems at Twitter. You see what's going on. It may make it, may not make it, but the problems are incredible. The engagements are negative, and you have a lot of bots and you have a lot of accounts, which I think they should get on. But Truth Social is taking the place.
Yeah, he's just saying the same thing over and over and over there. It's listening to the president talk about True Social. True Social is an alternative and provides a good alternative who want to communicate that we're not allowed to do so on Twitter. But at the same time, it feels very much so like True Social was the place where Twitter removed those people and said you can't be here, or where it would get squashed, you would get shadow banned or whatever it would be. That's being opened up right now. And if it's being opened up right now on Twitter, I wonder if True Social loses its charm. Now, of course, if Donald Trump is to go back to Twitter, it's going to lose its charm because the thing about True Social is that it's Donald Trump's place. Like let's just be real. That's you don't have people live tweeting playoff baseball games or football games or college football games, live truthing or whatever it is on True Social. There might be people there who are doing that, but they're there because they want to talk about politics in a way that Twitter has said you're not welcome. If you have a new version of Twitter that allows those conversations to be present there, I don't know that True Social is going to continue to be able to exist in a way that it's going to sustain what its original purpose was. And honestly, if Donald Trump is going to no, if Don since Donald Trump is running for president, he can't not be on the platform where the largest communication is taking place in a free capacity. Is he gonna make the decision to not communicate with people where the people are because of a business deal that he has? Like, is he gonna choose his business deal over the largest way to communicate with people? Because it's a lot cheaper to tweet things and communicate to what I looked at last was 82 million people who have followed him since Saturday. If that's a legitimate number, how is he going to choose to stay on truth if his priority is to win the presidency? He's just going to have to make a decision, and maybe he'll choose to stay on truth. But to me, that would be a kind of a boneheaded decision. That's what I think. I don't know what you think about it. I don't know if you're on Twitter. I don't know how many of us are on Twitter. I am at Annie Frey Show. But I just look at what President Trump would be pushing away by not joining Twitter, and I'm thinking there's no way that he can stay off of it. The YouTube live chat poll today: should the new Republican majority remove certain Democrats, like Ilhan Omar, Eric Swalwell was another one, from being able to serve on committees, yes or no? You can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and I think that we had some issues with the sound, but we have got that all fixed. So if you were watching us on the YouTube and you left because you couldn't handle the sound issues, I think they're fixed. So please go back there and give it a check. When we talk to Brian Kilmeade in the next hour, we're going to talk to him about his appearance here on December 9th. Excited to have Kilmeade come to town at the Missouri Athletic Club. And it's going to be a great event, a dinner, and Mark and myself will all be there. We'll be on stage with Brian Kilmeade, and we're going to talk about his book, but we're also going to talk about a lot of issues. And by December 9th, that's just a couple weeks from now, maybe 3 weeks from now, there's going to be a lot that has evolved over that amount of time, especially looking at these Republicans as they continue to make decisions and make announcements over their newfound majority in the House of Representatives. The Fox News report on this news today: House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's pledge to block Democrat reps Eric Swalwell, Adam Schiff, I forgot Adam Schiff was the other one, and Ilhan Omar from committee's next Congress drew a strong response from the lawmakers. Omar, a Minnesota Democrat who has been accused of making anti-Semitic statements, claimed that McCarthy's pledge was just another example of her being targeted by Republicans. Quote, "From the moment I was elected, the Republican Party has made it their mission to use fear, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and racism to target me on the House floor and through millions of dollars of campaign ads. McCarthy's efforts to repeatedly single me out for scorn and hatred, including threatening to strip me from my committee, does nothing to address the issues our constituents deal with. It does nothing to address inflation, healthcare, or solve the climate crisis." Like I said earlier in the show, this is what they did to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So when Marjorie Taylor Greene won her election and they couldn't stand it and they took her off of her committees, do those same things apply or don't they? And the fact that she has made anti-Semitic comments makes her bigoted, and she's saying that she's being removed because of bigotry. And if bigotry is bad and it should go away, then Ilhan Omar herself should go away. I find Ilhan Omar, honestly, I think the squad members, and I'm just going to say it, I know it's not everybody's same opinion. That's okay. We can have differing opinions. I look at the Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world and the Lauren Boeberts of the world and the squad, and I think they serve equal purposes for their parties, which is to engage people in a way that everybody else in the party and representation is not engaging. And they all kind of seem to me to be very principled, incredibly different. But the methodology and the tactics and the outcomes seem to be similar within their parties. They become effective communicators. They can go out and say something and get news just because they said it, because the other side is so tweaked when they come out and make a point, and it gets out there and it gets to be news. But there's also within their own parties frustration with each of those groups of people. I think Matt Gaetz would probably be included in that. And that's not to say that, I mean, there are Democrats, I'm sure, who aren't like, they wouldn't consider themselves to want to be in the squad. And they sometimes probably go, when the squad goes out and says something or does something, but they're not going to shun them. And the same thing goes with the Republican Party. If you've got a Matt Gaetz, a Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Lauren Boebert, some of the people who are in, I don't consider them to be alt-right specifically or far right wing. It's not the principles that they're standing by as much as it is their methodology, which is unorthodox to the old way of doing things in Washington, D.C. And I would venture to say that the old way of doing things in Washington, D.C. in many parts has value, but should always be influenced by new ways of doing things in order to continue to make the progress in a conservative way moving forward. That idea of establishment, like that word establishment in and of itself, is what is established. This is how we do things. This is how we've always done things. This is how we will always do things. To completely shun how things have always been done for centuries in this country would be foolish. But to suggest that nothing new could ever come in and evolve and impress upon the old way of doing things in a way that would improve them, that would be equally foolish. So it seems to me like somewhere between establishment and the kind of new wave versions of these Democrats in the squad, or whatever we call these people on the right. There's a lot of people call them a lot of names. I just don't know what the name is that I'm willing to subscribe to is here on the Annie Frey Show. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins in studio with Wiggins America. What are we talking about? Well, his favorite subject, lipstick. So it's his pick, his topic. He's going to come talk to us about what his lipstick says about him. I think I'm getting that right. Did I get that right? Well, we'll see in just a minute. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
IGotFloored.com is the website you're going to go visit before you make your trip to Michael's Flooring Outlet and see the amazing deals that they have for you in store for your flooring purchase. Michael's Flooring Outlet is a longtime sponsor of 97.1 and of the Annie Frey Show, and we love them. Why? Well, because they are a family here from St. Louis. They've grown this business in St. Louis. They've been here for going on 30 years, treating their neighbors, just like you, to a great experience when it comes to purchasing flooring. You go to Michael's Flooring Outlet and you tell them what you need. You can let them know what your budget is, and they're going to walk you through the whole process. When you get done with that process, you are going to feel excited about your flooring purchase, and you're going to want to recommend Michael's Flooring Outlet to the next folks who either come to your house and say, oh my gosh, this looks fantastic. Where did you go? You're going to say Michael's Flooring Outlet with a smile on your face. For the Mohawk Smart Strand carpeting, for the Revwood Tech Plus hardwood flooring, whatever you are looking for right now, you need to give Michael's Flooring Outlet the opportunity to earn your business. You can learn more about them online at IGotFloored.com.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency.
Join Mosby Building Arts every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 FM. Rich Orse and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
Attention! Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-600-5536. That's 1-800-600-5536. 1-800-600-5536.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service now offers insulation services. Did you know 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated? Increase your energy savings and comfort with better insulation. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Celebrating 22 years as St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Thanks for being a part of it.
You'll say we've got nothing in common.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And we're falling.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The world has come between us. Our lives have come between us. Still, I know you just don't care. And I said,
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us this Monday afternoon of a Thanksgiving holiday week. Hopefully you are enjoying. Maybe you get to listen to us a little bit more because maybe you're off this week. How many people in real America get the week off? Nobody, right?
What about schools? Are you
No.
No, they don't. No, they're not, because mine is.
They're not real America either.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're all married teachers, other than Hannah, who's not married, but Ryan and Brad and I are all married to teachers, and I just grow jaded by the holiday.
Because of that.
They're like, oh, you need time off. Like, I see all these memes. Man, I hope all the teachers are in school right now. Mine is.
Mm-hmm.
You see all these memes on Facebook, and they're like, how you can tell a teacher is getting closer and closer to Christmas, and it's like they're all like wigging out and everything. I'm like, what about the rest of us who just have to keep going? We don't get to stop.
I'll tell you what, though, I'll argue that schools in general are such a big part of the economy that you know that they're not in session. So they are part of regular America because the traffic's so much better when school's not in session. You notice it. You notice
How
it.
does that doesn't make them part of real America?
Yes, it does.
Can you check in for a fever?
No,
again?
no, I'm fine.
No.
I'm fine. Everybody's tracking with me today.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you're saying that's not part of real
Stop,
America.
stop. Brad, what did he just say?
He said because the traffic's better, you know that that schools are part of real America.
Yes. Yes.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
I'm not done with this. I still don't.
But then go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't literally know what to say.
But that's
What I'm
because you
saying
can't
is,
respond
I don't
to that.
know what we're discussing.
Well, you were saying that
Or
that's not
albeit
real.
arguing.
That's not the school thing.
I made a statement. You made a counterpoint that I don't get.
Yes. What was your statement was
Mhm.
that schools don't count because they're not part of the real job.
Schools don't count what?
As far as taking time off the whole week of Thanksgiving.
As part
Right?
of real America because they work government jobs is why they aren't part of real America.
Is that what you're saying?
This is a lot more about schools than I had intended it to be. I actually set schools aside. The question that I asked was how many people who are listening right now get the week off?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, we're not talking about schools because schools, if you're talking about teachers getting the week off, that's obvious. Even if it's not the week off, my family gets 3 days off, but that's just part of the schedule. They also got Columbus Day off and freaking Kashmir Pulaski Day off.
Celebrated big.
What?
Yeah, I know. Illinois.
Yeah,
man.
Illinois.
Well, Illinois public schools. I was always a Lutheran school kid, and I was always very envious and angry at Kashmir Pulaski.
That was the days the buses weren't running.
Yeah, exactly. But my point was originally about the fact that the majority of people listening, they might work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. They may work Thursday. There are places that are, there are first responders, there are nurses, there are police officers and firefighters and all that are going to be working Thursday. So the question was, who in real America gets the whole week off? And the answer is save schools, nobody.
Okay. All right. Well, we've gotten that figured out.
And then you started talking about traffic.
Well, my point is that they make up such a big portion of the economy and the world around us as part of real America.
And
who makes up the
traffic?
Yeah. Traffic is way lower when school is not in session. That's my only point. And that means that they make up a huge portion. Oh, forget it. Let's just hit the sounder and go to the
We
Wiggins
already
America.
did hit the sounder. We're in Wiggins America, and welcome to being on the confused side of the line.
Let's reset because I have real
Because you
questions.
need to talk about lipstick.
Yes. Wiggins. Thank you. There we go.
We don't need two of these in one
Oh,
day.
yeah. We might get three.
Put this on the board for tomorrow. It's done.
Oh, by the way, tomorrow I have one of the greatest Wiggins Americas you will ever hear. Just a little bit teased.
I am angry.
I'm not even doing that. Hannah's doing that.
Even better than this one?
Uh-huh.
You're going to top this tomorrow?
I'm not kidding.
Better than?
I have information that I'm going to deliver
Do we
to
need
all of
another
you
one?
through song tomorrow for Wiggins
Is this
America.
another one of those songs you write where there's no melody and it's just you talking with music in the background?
Well, that's what I call a song. Just put a beat down. I just start talking about the economy.
That's what like a super leftist artist would say. Am I right? You laugh because you know it's true.
It is true.
I'm going to drink my spoiled kombucha. Who knows? Really?
Well, here's my question for mainly the ladies. Brad, you can respond if you want. I don't know why you would, but you can. Does lipstick indicate anything about a person's economic status? Genuine question.
No.
Okay. So you
Genuine
can't
answer.
You can't look at a girl and go, "Oh, she's wearing whatever shade or whatever style."
That would make you a crap person.
Well, I had to ask because I didn't know.
Brad?
I was going to say if they are wearing it, then they have enough money to afford it, and that's about all you can draw.
Yeah, you can go down on the streets of St. Louis and see the homeless people on their cell phones.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that's one question because both of these are economic questions for real here. But the second is...
It's always good in Wiggins America when we get to the for real part.
The second is... This one's probably outdated, but I got to ask anyway.
Oh, boy.
Does a girl's hemline
Oh, my gosh.
have anything to do with their
you know
economic
what, Hannah,
status?
let's just sit this one out. Ryan, tell us what a girl's lipstick and her hemline tell
Okay.
you about her.
I can because
Don't read it, just tell us.
I am going to tell you this from memory. there is something called the lipstick index, coined by Leonard Lauder, Estee Lauder. The idea is that
When?
What's that?
When?
I don't. This is still in active use now. The hemline was not as much, but this one's still active.
Had to bring it up though.
It's the idea that sales of affordable luxuries like lipstick rise in economic downturns because the spending behavior has been true in basically every recession, that people, when they can't afford bigger luxuries, they choose smaller luxuries like lipstick. So there is a thing called the lipstick index. So I had to ask first, is there a social index here? But you said no. So there is an economic index, though, that they monitor that when lipstick sales start to rise, that people have a negative view of where the economy is headed, and B, have already started experiencing it.
And you're telling me that this was established by somebody who sells lipstick.
I am telling you that.
Okay.
However, I'm also telling you that it is still in use today.
In use by whom?
By
Steve
mainly...
Moore? You position this to Steve Moore,
I
an
will.
actual fellow, right?
Yes.
He's a distinguished
fellow.
From one indistinguished fellow to a distinguished
I
fellow.
still think we're talking about our boss.
What?
When we say
Yeah.
Steve Moore.
No, The Economist. What does a woman's lipstick say about how much money she has? Ask him that question.
You should ask him that question.
Heck no.
Do you want me to just wander in the
I'm afraid
studio?
I would get an answer.
He probably knows
about a
all about
headline.
this. But apparently it's overall indicative, and it's not just lipstick, it's little things like lipstick, but they call it the lipstick index.
But Mr. Lauder.
But apparently
said, "Let's
Estee
talk-"
Lauder
I don't know why.
coined it.
Why would he do that?
Maybe because people end up talking about it. That when consumers start to feel nervous about the way things are going, they make fewer purchases that are big or on a whim, and more purchases like this that they consider luxury, and it's starting to rise. So I wondered, not just on the social scale, which you say doesn't exist, or the hemline scale, which is that one fascinates me.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
apparently it used to be that the higher the girl's skirt got, the more she was expecting the economy to be bad. Yeah. At hemline, it's called the hemline index. No kidding.
What website did you find that from?
This is Axios, linking to other ones too. It's real stuff. I'm telling you.
You
So
know,
it used to be
Ryan,
that.
I will
No,
say.
just let him squirm.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
say-
Finish
say
your
what you
thought.
gotta say.
Finish
You
your
gotta
thought.
say. Go
You
ahead.
say what you were gonna say.
I'm just explaining the hemline index. That once the skirt was long, they were expecting the economy to be good. They would start to raise it, I guess, based on they said cloth prices is what they were doing. Real stuff. Now you
That's
go
the only
ahead,
thing I can think of.
Hannah.
I have never thought in a time where the economy has been fragile that I need to, one, wear shorter skirts, and two,
Shorter skirts and more lipstick.
and be like, you know what? Out of everything I need right now, I need some lipstick.
It is
And you know, the more I
literally-
talk about this, the worse it's.
It is literally impossible for you to do worse tomorrow in Wiggins America than this one. You cannot go lower than this.
I'm telling you, the amazing thing is that tomorrow is one I've been planning for over a month, and it has to be tomorrow, and it has to be through song. It's gonna be great.
You got 2.5 more
Before
minutes.
we get to the end of this one, the genuine question that I wanted to ask is, have not just with
This
the
is-
lipstick,
This is post for real. Now it's
the
genuine.
the lipstick stuff. Get past the. I mean, that was like an interesting thing to me, just the fact that these indexes exist. But have you started to adapt your big spending? If not your small spending, have you adjusted bigger spending or looking down the road at bigger spending items at all? Because I know that
absolutely.
I have.
We've been doing that for a year. We were saying last year to buy it because inflation was coming. I think everybody has. No?
I certainly have.
This is not like a.
I mean, I'm doing things like keeping my thermostat cooler
Mhm.
and stuff like that so that my heating bill won't be as high. So sitting around the house like in a parka so that I don't have to turn the heat up so that we don't, have to spend that much on heating bill, because our heating bill is going to go up by 300%.
That's crazy.
Well, at
That
least
is
our
crazy.
price per kilowatt hour is going to go up by 300%.
Yeah. I'm just listening to you and being very, very nervous about my own winter. I'm like stepping out of radio a second going, oh no, 300%. But that's what I think that's what everybody's doing. I'm doing the same thing. I've bought things way ahead of time that I didn't necessarily need yet, like a new windshield and stuff. We talked about that.
Wait,
And,
like an extra? Like a spare?
It just has it hanging on the wall in the garage.
Just in case of inflation.
I don't think you understand pulling back.
Get a secondary
Dang it.
windshield.
What sucks is that sounds exactly like you were intending. Because that sounds like I was like, well, just in case I ever need a new windshield, I'm going to go buy an extra. Man, you're right. Tomorrow's is going to be better. I promise. I promise.
You literally have no option.
It's got to go up. Man.
The
what
only
the
option
heck?
is up.
This is a holiday week. I'm just going to hang my hat on that. Okay. Stephen Moore up next, and we'll ask him about the lipstick index.
The what?
Please do. Please
Steve
ask
Moore,
him.
Ryan Wiggins says the more lipstick a woman wears in the shorter skirt, the rougher the economy. What say you? When we return, don't go away.
Remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of liked it. And I said,
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group. He knows how to help you get into retirement. You've been saving for a long time, and you want to make sure that your hard work is going to pay off. That makes sense. He knows that right now, with the economy being, I don't know, some might say headed in the wrong direction, Ryan Wiggins, that you want to make sure that you've shored up everything you can, that you're putting your money right now where it needs to be, and that it's going to work for you when retirement does arrive. You also want to make sure that retirement can arrive when you were planning on it, so you don't get to the point where you think, oh my goodness, I'm going to be retiring in a year, and you find out, I got 3 or 4 more years to work. Nobody wants that. Call Thomas Helbig and get a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review, and sit down with him and listen to what he has to say. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Thomas Helbig is looking forward to your phone call. Make sure you mention the Annie Frey Show when you go to set up your appointment. 314-993-9494. You can find him online right now at retirementkey.com.
If you suffer from sinus problems, there is a solution. Call my friends at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Mark Cox here. They work with patients with chronic sinus problems with a proven procedure called balloon sinus dilation. Stop procrastinating. You can end your sinus infections once and for all. Schedule an appointment today. You can book directly online at stlsinuscenter.com. That's stlsinuscenter.com, or call 314-473-5433.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A car crashes into an Apple store. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It happened outside Boston this morning in the town of Hingham.
It appears at the outset preliminarily that a dark-colored SUV went through
at a rate of speed undetermined through a plate glass window and struck multiple people.
Plymouth County DA Timothy Cruz calls it an ongoing criminal investigation, but he's not speculating on whether the crash was accidental or intentional. One person killed, 16 taken to the hospital. The driver has been with police, not hospitalized. New charges against the man accused of killing 5, injuring more than 20 in a mass shooting Saturday night at an LGBTQ bar in Colorado.
Anderson Lee Aldrich, according to court documents, now faces hate crime charges in addition to counts of murder. Colorado Springs police say Aldrich began firing with a long gun moments after walking into Club Q. Patrons of the bar are credited with stopping Aldrich from killing more people. Some of the injured were shot and, at last word, remained in critical condition.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The attack happened as the bar was preparing to mark the Transgender Day of Remembrance. 2 men under arrest in New York City accused of threats to the Jewish community.
One had made anti-Semitic social media posts, including threatening to attack a synagogue. Mayor Eric Adams said that threat was real.
This was not an idle threat.
He says police recovered weapons, including an illegal gun with an extended 30-round magazine, a hunting knife, and that's not all.
And a Nazi armband. A Nazi armband in New York City in 2022. Think about that for a moment.
He says extra security at synagogues will continue through Hanukkah.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating and cooling, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about lots of sunshine as we go through our Monday afternoon with pretty nice temperatures for a change, at least closer to where we should be. 53 with just a touch of a breeze. Tonight, clear, cold, light wind, 29 for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny, light winds and 55. Wednesday, sunny and 58. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, a mix of clouds and sunshine, maybe a sprinkle, and 50. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You can support our local first responders by getting an ATF raffle ticket. Go to 971talk.com/Cox to help Responder Rescue and maybe win some great alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and food prizes. That's 971talk.com/Cox. Mark Cox here. Prices on just about everything are still rising, but thanks to my friends at CarShield, I don't have to worry about how much it'll cost to fix my car when it breaks down. Their price will never go up, and they help handle everything. That's why I love CarShield. When I locked my keys in my car on vacation, CarShield was there for me because they offer roadside assistance with every protection plan at no extra cost. When my car radio started acting up, I got it replaced because CarShield covers those things under my protection plan. When you need a repair, you don't have to deal with the paperwork or the headaches. You just choose the mechanic to do the work, and CarShield administrators handle the rest. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down. They can have yours too. Get coverage like I did. Go to carshield.com/Cox or call 800-391-8888 to save 10% on your plan. That's carshield.com/Cox.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the bagel loan guy, 314-324-4440. I'm here to tell you, if you've had a mortgage done, if you've bought a mortgage or if you've refinanced a mortgage for whatever reason in the last 90 days, rates were really high in the last 90 days. And due to a lower than expected inflation report, rates have dipped down. This is where the bagel loan makes its entrance. You can refinance that mortgage that you just got done within the last 90 days at a much higher rate. You can lower that rate right now with Stewart's American Mortgage and the bagel loan without having to pay any fees to go through that process to do it. This is a no-brainer, and it might seem a little crazy to refinance right away, but listen, if you can get your rate down lower, it's going to save you a ton of money in the long run with those high interest rates. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Call or text my friend Stewie. I've done it twice with Stewie, and I encourage you to check it out for yourself as well. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, my name is Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. In honor of our newest location in Cottleville, for any new customers, simply come into any of our 6 locations and ask us to pay the first $50, and we will. That's right. That means brakes, suspension, alignments, air conditioning, even our auto body work. Please come see our team or visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Visit Shane Company. We have the largest selection of natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes, each one hand-selected for its beauty.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Monday. Happy Thanksgiving week Monday. We're grateful that you're here. Reminder, you can stream us on the Odyssey app. Anywhere you go, anytime. You can even rewind up to 24 hours in advance. I want to get straight to our guest. Steve Moore joins us now. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at Heritage Foundation and author of the book Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. Steve, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, Annie, good to be with you.
I want to start this conversation off with a positive note. It is Thanksgiving week, and we've just had a midterm election. The Republicans did take the House. That's going to stop a lot of spending that this Biden administration could have pushed through if he retained Democratic control there. So I want to give you an opportunity to tell us, at the end of the 2022 year here, some things that you might be thankful for on that political scene.
Well, when we talked last week, I was very depressed about, the poor performance of the Republicans in a midterm election with a president who really has been one of our worst. And you would have thought you would have had a landslide for Republicans, but it was not a landslide by any means. But the most important thing that I'm thankful for is that we no longer have one-party control of Washington. The most important thing that happened is that by very slim margin, you now have Republicans controlling the House. And so you've got divided power, you've got checks and balances. That's a very positive thing for our country. It's good for the economy. It's good for the stock market that Nancy Pelosi is no longer Speaker. So, that's important. And it's a big deal because, what all these massive multi-trillion-dollar spending bills that you and I have been talking about for the last couple of years, most of them passed with exclusively Democrat votes. Some Republicans voted for some of these bills, and shame on them. But I'm very thankful for that. Look, this is a great country, no question about it. And we have so many resources. We have so many incredibly, and our most important resource, of course, is our people. We have the greatest, most productive workers and entrepreneurs and business owners in the world. So I'm very thankful for that. And I'm just going to correct you on one thing. You said oh, Republicans are going to come in and stop the spending. Well, I hope that's right. But, they like to play Santa Claus, too. Just because they have an R next to their name doesn't mean it. So we'll see. I'm gonna reserve judgment till I see what these Republicans come up with, because you're right that we need to cut the government spending and the trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt that we have.
Yeah, that is a great point. We don't like big government Republican spending either. They need to get back to their roots and start respecting the American taxpayer. Do you think, I mean, can a House majority of Republicans with a president who's not going to sign really much anything that they are going to pass, economically speaking, is everything just to be a major speed bump so that nothing gets through? Is that what they do?
Yeah. Well, we could do a lot worse than gridlock. Gridlock sometimes is a pretty good thing in Washington because it means nothing gets done. But we do have some things. We do need to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. Those were such a massive success for our economy. We do need to, index the capital gains tax for inflation. We do need to. Now, the one thing Republicans can do, without any Democrat support, is they can stop spending because, it takes two houses of Congress to pass a spending bill. And so you have essentially a one-house veto. It doesn't matter how much, Joe Biden stomps his feet and complains and he talks about Republicans being a threat to democracy. If Republicans hold tight, they can stop the stampede of spending that Democrats have done in the last few years. So gridlock can be a good thing. Now, the other thing I was thinking about, Annie, is, it wasn't so long ago that, Bill Clinton was president, and when he lost control of the House and Senate, he triangulated. I don't know if you remember that word, but he moved to the middle, and there was a lot of cooperation between Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton on welfare reform, on balanced budget, on the tax cuts and things of that nature. So, but I just don't think Biden has it in him because all the people around him are so left wing.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. We're speaking with Steve Moore with the Heritage Foundation. He is our economic expert, the economic expert. I'm looking on Fox News here. It says that your Thanksgiving dinner could cost 20% more this year because of inflation. It also says Thanksgiving feast to cost most in 37 years. I'm 38 years old. This is the second most expensive Thanksgiving feast of my life. This is unbelievable.
You're just a youngster. But it is. I was just actually on Fox about a couple hours ago talking about that very subject, about how much these Thanksgiving dinners would cost, and 20% is a pretty big increase. And I was saying on Fox that when I go on Fox or other networks and say, we have 8.5% inflation, people get angry and they say, no, why do you keep saying that? We've got 10, 15, 20% inflation, not 8%, because the things that people have to buy are going up so much faster. The price of a computer goes down, but what about the price of food? What about the price of airline tickets? What about the price of your gasoline at the pump? What about diesel? If you look at diesel costs are up double. Guess what? Why is that important? Most of us probably don't buy diesel, but guess who does? Truckers do. Truckers that transport all our goods and services use diesel. And guess what happens if their prices go up? What happens to the prices at the grocery store?
Oh, yeah.
Those go up too.
Yeah, it's sad to see, and it seems as though the one comment that I always sticks out in my head from President Biden when he was asked about this, he said that inflation hasn't gone up. It's been pretty steady. Yeah, that's not a good thing because it's 8% plus. It does not seem to resonate with this administration that what's happening right now is bad. We hear words like transition, and basically this is the type of pain that Americans are going to have to deal with so that the administration, this version of the Democratic Party, can get through the policies and the policy changes that they want.
Well, again, this is the ingeniousness of our system of government that was set up by our founding fathers, that they wanted to make it difficult to pass laws. That, I get so upset when I hear that Democrats keep talking about our democracy. We are democratic, but we're not really a democracy. We're a representative form of government. The way that our founders set up our system is that it's not just majority rules. We have rights for the minority that make sure that those rights are not trampled upon. And so that's the system that was set up. It makes it very difficult to pass new laws because of these checks and balances. And thank goodness we have those, because the government would trample on our, basic rights, our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment, Third, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh Amendment rights. And so the older I get, the more I really respect how smart that the founding fathers were, and we have to preserve this country in the system of free speech. And I love what Elon Musk is doing, saying, look, people have the right to say what they want to say on Twitter. You may not agree with them, but you can't shut them down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let people speak, and if they make themselves out to be fools, then everybody will know that they're fools for sure. Last question, Steve. Before we let you go, we don't ever talk about crypto. I don't really know much about crypto. The FTX thing seems to be a gigantic story, and I just wondered, any opinion that you have on it, any thoughts you have on the FTX situation?
I'm on the board of a couple of crypto companies, not FTX, but a couple of other ones. Okay. And, the thing that I like about cryptos and that investors like about cryptos is precisely that the government doesn't have their, tentacles involved in all the cryptos. It's a challenge and an alternative and a competitor to government-run fiat currencies. And so all this idea, we have to regulate the cryptos, well, then they're just going to become like every other investment. So I'm not one who thinks we need more regulation, but I do think, this what is his name, Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah,
he is a criminal. He's a criminal. He ran a Ponzi scheme. Isn't it interesting that over the last 25, 30 years, for the Keating Five, which was the SNL scandal, 4 out of 5 of those were Democrats. Then you look at Bernie Madoff. He, where did he donate all his money to? Oh yeah, Democrats. Then you look at the Fannie Mae crisis. Oh, who did they give money to? Oh, the Democrats. Where does this guy Sam give all his money to? Oh, Democrats. Isn't that interesting? I thought the Democrats were against big money in politics, but they sure lap it up when it's offered to them. So I think the bottom line is I feel very strongly about this, Annie, and I wonder how you feel about it. I think that these Democrats who got this money have a moral obligation to give that money back to a fund to provide some restitution for the investors who were basically stolen from. And look, it's like this. If somebody sticks a gun to my head and steals $100 in my wallet and then gives the $100 to you, well, you know what? You have to give that money back to me.
Right.
And that's how I feel about this. But, the Democrats say, we don't want to give the money back, even though it was stolen.
Yeah, I think that it's such a mysterious thing for so many Americans. It's kind of hard. I'm just looking at it all, waiting for it to kind of click and make sense. But the money, it's always the follow the money thing, right? And as you pointed out, all of these different entities that turned out to be frauds, they always end up happening to benefit a political party, and that political party has something to offer them.
Democrats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So and then I think that it's so interesting because all the Democrats, we need campaign finance reform. We've got to get dark money out of politics. Well, what do you think all this was?
Yeah, absolutely.
They've spent 20 years going after the Koch. So the Kochs never violated any of these rules. They didn't bankrupt people. It's these big donors to Democrats. And by the way, the big part of the story is that what Sam did so ingeniously. I'm for ESG. I care about these low income people. I give my money to Democrats and I do conscientious investing. So okay, here's all my money, and then all these people lost it. And he did a very good job of basically playing the liberals against themselves.
Yeah. Well, Steve, we appreciate you each and every week. We are thankful for you this week. And,
I'm thankful to you, too, and all your listeners. And by the way, there's a piece in the St. Louis, what's the paper there?
The Post-Dispatch?
Yeah, saying Art Laffer is wrong, and why does anybody leave the Laffer curve? Because Laffer was right. We had the Reagan boom, we had the Trump boom. The Laffer curve works. Cut taxes and good things happen.
Fantastic. I love a good Post-Dispatch reference. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right, take care. Bye.
You as well. Happy Thanksgiving. Steve Moore, Distinguished Fellow in the Economics Department at Heritage Foundation. He's always with us each week, and we're grateful for it. No, I took the pass. I didn't ask him about lipstick. And what else did Ryan Wiggins talk about? High hemlines. Nope. Didn't take the bait on that one.
Thank you for
that.
Pass.
Probably not going to ask Brian Kilmeade about that either when we come back. But there's been a development in that story, in Ryan Wiggins' theory. And Brad Range is going to have that for us a little bit later in the show. So you're going to want to stick around for that. And we may or may not allow Ryan Wiggins in the studio when we discuss it. We'll see. I'll probably leave that up to Brad to determine what he wants to do. So stick around. Brian Kilmeade, when we come back right here on the Annie Frey Show. A reminder, December 9th, he's going to be in St. Louis at the Missouri Athletic Club, and I cannot wait to be a part of this amazing event with Brian, with Mark Cox, with Mark Reardon, and with you. But you got to secure your tickets, and tickets are going fast. 971talk.com/events. Go check out all the details about the event and secure your spot to spend in a wonderful evening with Brian Kilmeade, the crew from 97.1, and you. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Procrastination. We've all been there. But have you been dragging your feet when it comes to creating your retirement plan? I've heard it all from, I have time before I need to make a decision, or I'll eliminate debt first and then get ready for retirement. I've seen far too many people waste valuable time for their retirement planning, and I don't want you to be one of them. Hi, I'm Ken Heisey with Heisey Advisory Group. I'm on a mission to help people recognize the potential destructive impact procrastination can have on their retirement plan. Don't procrastinate. Call us today at 314-328-6000 to ensure you get on the right path toward your retirement dream. 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Roadmap Technologies is looking for you to reach out to them, and they would love to talk to you about how they can help you perfect your IT service situation. Do you have a department in IT, or are you the department in IT? That's the way a lot of these situations go for small businesses. You're trying to juggle everything at once, and you're thinking, I can't bring somebody on to take care of my IT. I can't afford to do that. Well, you don't necessarily have to. Roadmap Technologies is a great solution for you. If you have users licensed for software applications they once needed but don't need to use any longer, if you have unsupported software that you are paying for, do you know if you have software license compliance issues that could potentially incur possible fines? You don't have to worry about any of that when you hire Roadmap Technologies to take care of your IT for you. They are a local St. Louis company. They have a decade of experience right here, and they've been working with people exactly like you, secure their IT strategies to make sure that they're not paying for hidden costs that they don't need, and that they are truly, in fact, secure. You can reach out to Roadmap Technologies by calling 314-222-0057, 314-222-0057, online at roadmaptech.com.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
The med spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the med spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Now that you've had a little bit of time to digest it all, we'll take some calls Thursday afternoon on the Trump-DeSantis cage match.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Take a seat. Right over there.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
So aggressive. I know we meant all good intentions. So pull me closer. Why don't you pull me closer?
I think when historians look back at our time, they will not divide us into red and blue and Republican, Democrat. They're like, the things that were wrong with us were wrong with both sides in different ways. I do think they manifest in a more dangerous way on the right. But on the left, there is a rot. And it comes from academia. Yes, and I agree. And it filters down.
Bill Maher there making more sense and with each and every passing day. He's always been the guy who will say the things that nobody else would say. It was part of his charm, I suppose, and his entertainment draw. But now what he's saying, and I always love listening to the crowd that's there to see Bill Maher's show, because he makes these jokes and they laugh with, they roar with laughter. Because he makes sense when he calls out the obvious things that a lot of people that have been more libertarian, classic liberal have been saying for quite some time. The rot comes from academia. And if you are paying attention to history, if you're paying attention to the people who have built this country and you know where we came from, it will help you know where we need to go and how to not repeat those mistakes. And I don't know anybody better at doing exactly that than our friend Brian Kilmeade, who joins us now. Brian, of course, the whole list, your resume that I have to list off for you is huge here, but you're the guy who does the show right before me here on 97.1 FM Talk and, of course, on Fox and Friends and all over Fox. Welcome back to the show, Brian. Good to have you here.
Yeah, and congratulations on your success, Annie. I know you were right around the block for me when you were in our studios doing your show.
Yeah.
But I played that exact cut today. And I've had 4 or 5 Bill Maher cuts. I probably only played 2. But I just find them very reasonable. And I think it shows both the country and our listeners that it's not so much about party, it's about the country. If you make sense, I don't care what party you're from. And the thing is, I could take center left, I could take center right, but I can't take way left. And even like extreme conservatives that, they're rational. Like a lot of times the extreme right push all the way over there knowing they got to compromise and come over, but they're tired of compromising, period. So they'll take the extreme position. I'm not saying it's an insincere position, but it's not a practical one. The country is just not extreme right or extreme left. But the extreme left, I mean, who is for giving trillions of dollars towards climate change, towards countries that aren't successful, and we're going to pay a price for it while China and India sit it out? You know, who's for not having energy independence? You know, there's some of the things that aren't even interesting to talk about because it's more right and wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think about the narrative and the way the news cycle ends up going. And you follow it all day long, of course, with your television show and then your radio show. And in the meantime, you find time to write books. The President and the Freedom Fighter, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, and their battle to save America's soul. I did the audio book when it first came out. It's out in paperback right now. You're going to be talking about it when you come to St. Louis on December 9th, 971talk.com/events for people to get their tickets. The thing that I love the most about taking in this story that you put together about Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, this whole idea of being woke, it's originally the idea that, we're going to put something on you you've never heard before, and then you're going to know. You're going to be in the know. But so many of these stories that you have articulated from the past really are where we need to go in the future. And Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass are a great example of that.
Well, yeah, and what I try to do in the paperback is take the news. And what happened since it came out? They decided, we have to start tearing down everything that represents something that in our past may not gel with what we're living with today. So let's rip Frederick Douglass's statue out because of Black Lives Matter, which you should put up extra statues for Frederick Douglass. But in Rochester, they ripped it out of the ground. What was the rationale? I talked to the police about it. I go, do you have any idea who did it? And they go, we don't know. We just replaced him and put him back and added one. I go, great. And then when they tried to take Lincoln's name off grammar schools and high schools, and then they tried to take out the Emancipation Monument because they didn't like the way African Americans were depicted breaking from chains underneath a standing tall 16th president of the United States. Okay, you don't like that in 2021. Fine. Do you realize it was paid for by emancipated slaves? Do you realize the biggest donation among emancipated slaves was $5? Do you realize that those emancipated slaves went out and commissioned Thomas Ball? So these African Americans said, let's go get a designer. He ended up being in Italy at the time. They went with it. So here, back in 75, they said this is perfect. Frederick Douglass didn't love the statue, but he dedicated it. He stood in front of that statue and dedicated it. Well, in 2021, we decided that isn't good. We should tear it down. And I just thought that's the idiocy of today's generation. We know more, and we're judging people on our norms of today, not the norms in which they lived. We used to go to the Smithsonian and say, wow, that's interesting. That's what they used to do then. This generation would go down and say, let's rip out all that old stuff. Let's get rid of this. I think that's culturally insensitive. And I just thought that's what I'm going to put in the paper back. Instead of studying history, this generation is judging history. And I just find that unbelievably arrogant. And instead of just writing history books and hoping people like it, I feel like I'm writing history books, try to say and tell you a story. So to arm you at your next cookout, tailgate, Thanksgiving with facts when people start talking about us being racially intolerant and where we came from and where we are.
Yeah. It's a fantastic point. We're speaking with Brian Kilmeade. He's on 97.1 here from 9 to noon, right before the Annie Frey show starts. And you see him on Fox and Friends, and you see him on Fox Nation. And he's a New York Times bestselling author, of course, of the current book, The President and the Freedom Fighter. It's about Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. I think about the timeline of when we first started talking about political correctness and the idea of using your words appropriately. I have small kids. I've got 4 kids. So we talk about using our words, and there are ways that you can be sensitive to other people that maybe culturally we weren't before. But that really rapidly in a short amount of time turned into, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will never hurt me. That's how I grew up. But my kids are growing up exactly the other way. We see violence being used culturally to make a point and to try to affect change. But words are the things that will get you canceled completely. Is there a limit on this where it stops?
Absolutely. I think we reached that. I think we're getting better. Even from when I started researching this, and you go up to the editor and you have 3 or 4 ideas, and I said, I'm not thrilled. My next step is civil war, and we're in the middle of Black Lives Matter. The pandemic was a little whiles away, a few months away, and I pitch it out and I go, listen, everyone writes about the Civil War. Everyone writes about Lincoln. Douglass was the book of the year. I go, what about their friendship? A black guy and a poor white guy and a black guy that's born a slave. Their unbelievable story to success can only be done in America. And then the way they coincide at just the right time in a country that is open. I mean, they weren't elitist. You look at Lincoln, and if people aren't familiar with the way he started, this guy was dirt poor, abject poverty. Dad didn't want him anything to do with the books. 1 year of formal education. If I said, stop time, who thinks Lincoln's going to amount to anything? Nobody would have said anything. But he's determined, and he becomes educated, and he loses a couple elections, and he's physically extremely strong, so strong his dad would license him out to other farms. I mean, every time he saw him reading, he'd get angry at him. His mom dies at 8. His stepmom, thankfully, is into education, would help him out. But he would just walk miles to get one book on any subject. Frederick Douglass would do errands for the white kids to do their homework and have the kids explain their homework to him. He used to stare at other kids getting help through the windows and then finally convinced the slave master's wife. He's like, can you teach me to read? And he was a cute kid, a great kid. And she's like, okay. And she had no idea she was breaking the rules and breaking the law at the time. And that was the beginning. Frederick Douglass would take beatings and find a way to escape after failing once. And I remember that one line he had. If roughly, I think this is pretty accurate. He said, "I found myself in New York free. I'm also free from food and a place, clothing, and free for a place to sleep. What do I do?" And that guy ends up being one of the most world-renowned speakers and respected intellects and editors in the country. That could only happen here. Why disavow? I'm not saying America was right at the time, but we work our way through it because of great men and women. So why not laud them and salute them by studying their stories? Why hate America and take a knee today? Because we're not perfect. No country is perfect. What makes us great is that we try to be.
Yeah, and there's so much context. I mean, you've provided so much context to that story. And when people read your book and they learn more about these people, everybody's heard of Frederick Douglass. Everybody's obviously heard of Abraham Lincoln. They know their stories as much as any, American who's made it through high school knows them. But the details and also the intersections, the comparisons that their lives have are really compelling. And those stories are what provide context where I feel like, at least in the political landscape, we just got done with an election, the more context you have, the less those commercials can influence your opinion on who to vote for. I mean, the more they can simply divide us based on demographics or whatever it might be, the more power they have over the electorate. And the more that people educate themselves by reading your book and knowing their history, the more that they can control what happens next with their country rather than be dictated to.
Right. I mean, people walk around in a rage because they hear on television that white people hate black people and American Indians have their land stolen and Asians are getting beat up in the subway and then you have Hispanics doing menial jobs. No, that's not the case. Not every Asian's getting beat up, but if there's Asian hate because of the pandemic, let's stop it. White people and black people don't hate each other. There's individual incidents. They got to be stopped. They got to be scrutinized. But I don't hate, and people list white people do not hate black people. And the black people I make don't hate white people. Stop saying that. Because if you walk around and believe that, that's what causes the rage and the disdain and the helplessness and the anger and the rage that I can't make it in this country because of the color of my skin, because the game is rigged. And it's not. It's definitely harder for some. People listen to me right now have had parents imprisoned or don't know who their mom or dad is, or alcoholics for parents, or different challenges. Everybody listening to us right now has different challenges, and our goal is to overcome them, not pretend they're not there, to overcome them and appreciate them, utilize resources, and find a way to maximize your life. And by telling these stories, even though they're extraordinary, hopefully people find inspiration to say, "Well, there was no social safety net for Andrew Jackson. There was no for the orphan at 14 years old. There's no help for Abraham Lincoln as him and his sister sat alone and while his dad went to a neighboring town to go find a wife to replace the one that just died. I mean, through a winter in which there was no air conditioning. Everyone has trials and tribulations. My hope is people recognize these American stories and understand the opportunity this country provides on a daily basis, and just demand more from our leaders, because so far they are not worthy of us.
Man, well, you keep doing what you're doing because you are telling these stories. The book is The President and the Freedom Fighter. It's out in paperback right now. And Brian, I don't want to take up much more of your time, but you're going to be here December 9th. St. Louis always loves when you show up. Are you looking forward to making the trip?
Yeah, it's been a year. I love to every year. Last year I missed it. It's always the thing I look forward to most. The best is to talk to the listeners and find out what's going on with you guys. And that's what I love. And that's why I like an event rather than just a book signing.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone ahead of time for coming out.
Well, we are looking forward to having you. We're going to pack the house at the Missouri Athletic Club. It is December 9th, 6 to 10 p.m. Brian is going to be there live with Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, myself. We'll all be there on stage at some point or another with Brian Kilmeade. And tickets are available at 971talk.com/events. Brian, thank you so much for your time today. Highly recommend the book. It's a fantastic read. Thanks for being with us today.
Go get him, Andy Frey. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon. Brian Kilmeade, co-anchor of Fox & Friends, host of The Brian Kilmeade Show on 97.1 FM Talk, 9 a.m. to noon. New York Times best-selling author of The President and the Freedom Fighter. There's just the resume goes on and on and on. I love this man's work ethic. And when he tells me to go get him, I'm going to go get him. I don't know where they are, and I don't know who they are. But I'll be right back. When we come back, actually, Brad is going to come in here and fact-check Ryan Wiggins. which is really why I came to work today, for something like this to happen. And it has to do with lipstick. So those two are going to go at it when we come back and see what has conspired over the last probably 45 minutes since the weirdest Wiggins America we've had in quite some time. If you missed it on the Odyssey app, you can rewind to about 12:45 and pick it up or check it out on the Annie Frey Show podcast. But you're going to want to be here in about, 5 minutes when Brad Range calls Ryan Wiggins out in the next segment. Don't go away.
I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Why don't you just
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
97.1 FM Talk is embracing the spirit of giving to support the Tree of Hope at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, and we need your help. Funds raised help the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance, but so necessary to a child's recovery. Most importantly, all children at Cardinal Glennon receive the best care, regardless of their family's ability to pay. Thank you for supporting Cardinal Glennon. Please make your donations to the Tree of Hope today at 971talk.com/Cardinal Glennon. Or text the word HOPE to 20357.
One of the things about Foley Dental Group that I appreciate so much is the Frey family dentist. They see all 5 of us, soon to be 6 of us, when Molly gets her first dental appointment made. The thing about Foley Dental Group is they talk to you about your whole health, and they can tell a lot about what's going on in your health, in your life, based on what's going on in your mouth. They treat people, not just mouths, so they can talk to you about your blood pressure, heart attack risk, sleep and airway health, a function of your bite, and of course, your gums, your bones, your teeth. Your experience at Foley Dental Group is going to be different than anywhere else you go to seek dental care because their philosophy is rooted in your complete health, not just oral health. And you get that with a dental visit. That's fantastic, isn't it? Reach out to Foley Dental Group if you're looking for a new dentist, if you have an issue that your current dentist has not been able to fix for you, if you have a question that you haven't been able to be answered. And listen, they treat you with fantastic care. I have never been in pain. I've had fillings taken care of at Foley Dental Group. I've had teeth cleanings, and I always leave comfortable with a clean mouth and a satisfied dental health situation. Call them at 618-288-9670, 618-288-9670, online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Wonder Lights Christmas in St. Louis is brighter
than ever at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The holliest, jolliest Christmas light show in the area is celebrating the season from November 11th until January 1st. Tickets now available at WonderlightsChristmas.com. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
If the media ignores them, then we're talking to them. And we're posting it all as it happens. 97.1 on Twitter and Facebook. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Everybody needs someone beside them, shining like a lighthouse from the sea. Never let me be your shelter. Never leave you all alone. I can be the one you call when you're low.
This is a great song for Brad and Ryan.
It's our song. I don't know what I'm stepping into here. I was under the impression.
We should reset the table.
Please.
You.
I came in for Wiggins America, and I gave just some interesting little tidbit information on these indexes.
Right. Sum up what the tidbit was.
The lipstick index, which is an index that is used primarily in Britain, but it applies to anybody who uses lipstick, on how the economy is doing via...
I missed the Britain part.
Yeah, via lipstick sales. So if the economy is doing poorly, you'll start to see a rise in lipstick sales because people are not necessarily spending on big ticket luxuries as much. They're using their discretionary income to buy smaller ticket luxuries.
This is why men take care of the finances in the house, because when money gets tight, women are like, I think I should get some lipstick.
Darn right.
You know who takes care of the finances in my house?
Annie. Hey, so I looked it up, and the lipstick.
Ryan's cheating. He's looking at your. He's looking over at your shoulder at your work.
Yeah. So yeah, it's called Wikipedia, Ryan.
Well, I'm citing from an actual article, and you're looking at Wikipedia.
Yeah, and this is what this is what Wikipedia says. It says the lipstick index term is coined by Leonard Lauder, chairman of the board of Estee Lauder, which you mentioned.
Which I said.
Yep. He said it was used to describe the increase in sales of cosmetics during the early 2000s recession. So you were wondering when it happened? Early 2000s. All right. Lauder made the claim that the lipstick sales could be an economic indicator that in purchases of cosmetics, lipstick in particular, they tend to be inversely correlated to economic health. Now, inversely correlated means is that when one goes up, the other one goes down. So whenever the economic health goes down, he postulated that.
Postulated.
Yeah, I like
Thank
it.
you. I like this. I like all this.
I'm trying to be very fancy. Like postulated.
I didn't get the chance. I would have.
That whenever the economy goes down, lipstick sales would go up. And the speculation was that women substitute lipstick for more expensive purchases like dresses and shoes in times of economic distress. He identified the lipstick index as sales across the Estee Lauder family of brands. So, what happened since 2000? Well, they've had subsequent recessions.
Yeah, I remember them all.
Yeah.
They were all during my formative economic years.
So, what these recessions have shown was, because any good economist is going to look at this and test it, right?
No, great.
So
then blame Axios.
What? I will blame Axios.
No, you blame Axios.
Yes, because they set you out, Ryan. In subsequent recessions, including the late 2000s recessions, they provided controverting evidence to Lauder's claim that sales have actually fallen with reduced economic activity. And conversely, lipstick sales have experienced growth during periods of increased activity. As a result, the lipstick index has been discredited as an economic indicator. The increased sales of cosmetics in 2001 has since been attributed to an increased interest in celebrity-designed cosmetic brands.
So the real question here, though, is what about the hemlines?
Well,
There's other indexes.
There was also other indexes. They had one called the nail polish index in the 2010s. Many media
Was that
outlets.
by Mr. Revlon?
It doesn't say who it was. Reported that with the rise of nail art as a fad, English-speaking countries and as far afield as Japan and the Philippines, nail polish had replaced lipstick as the main affordable indulgence of women in place of bags, shoes during a recession, leading to talk of a nail polish index.
The whole point of this being done by Estee
Okay.
Lauder to me. What?
This gets even better because
Okay.
they also had an eye makeup index.
Okay.
Can you guess when the eye makeup index took place?
80s?
Nope. It happened during the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh,
And
makeup
do you-
tutorials?
Well, do you know why that was?
No.
Because during the coronavirus pandemic, what were you supposed to wear everywhere? Was everybody screaming at you to put on? Your mask.
Pants.
Yeah, put your pants on.
Pants back
when
on,
you go to
Wiggins.
the store. Well,
I hate it when I'm tracking with Ryan.
Well, the thing is, they notice that. So the correlation or the inverse correlation that everybody notices is always due to some other factor outside of the economic factor.
Well, well, well. Look who's got to write a letter to Axios now. You.
Write it in lipstick.
I don't care if Axios
Like
is
a
wrong.
crazy
Lipstick
person.
and send it in
Listen,
the mail.
I'm responsible for the factual nature of the Annie Frey Show,
Mhm.
and so I just thought I'd come in here and straighten things out for
Appreciate
everybody.
that.
Thank you. Did you look up the hemline index?
I did not.
Okay. Well, that's next. That's the next segment.
That seems like a scary thing to look
Yeah,
up.
I don't know if I want to Google that.
This is
Hannah was like beside herself as the show was ending about how ridiculous that segment was.
It was ridiculous.
Ryan said that the worse the economy gets, the more women wear lipstick and shorter skirts.
That's the hemline index. See, there's more than one. He mentioned the eyeliner index and all these other ones. I, for some reason, chose those two.
What are men doing when the economy gets bad?
Chilling, straight up chilling. What else could we do?
Get another job? It's kind of what you're implying the women are doing.
Yeah, I guess I am.
So the hemline index comes from the 1920s and 1960s.
Oh, that's about where Ryan Wiggins would have thrived.
1920s through 1960s would have been my heyday.
Yeah, no kidding.
I would have loved that.
It still could be.
Yeah, via time travel is what you're saying, right?
No, we're in the 20s.
Oh, I see.
There's actually...
So what you're saying is I'm going into my prime. Like right now.
We've already talked about your prime.
No, not my physical prime.
Inappropriate.
My economic prime.
Why is everything like inventively weird with you? It's like innovatively bizarre.
So what you're saying is, as of 2020, we're going into what you would refer to as the roaring 20s, and we're all experiencing that, obviously, in our
I
economy.
really think that COVID screwed over the opportunity for the 20s to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 20s could have been like, I don't know. You remember hearing about the 20s? Like
The
the
roaring
1920s, the roaring 20s.
Flapping. Everybody's
Great
flapping.
There were the
clothes,
bee's knees.
Lots of booze.
Cats
Smoking
meow.
cigarettes with those long, what are those called? The sticks that you
Cigarette
put...
holders.
Cigarette holders.
Yep. Yeah, stick a Marlboro on the end of a stick.
A what?
Marlboro.
Marlboro.
Marlboro. Camel. Just smoke a camel.
Yeah, go with camel.
Marble.
But I agree. I think that we missed the opportunity. Hey, if we had not had COVID / the loss of Trump, I don't know what this economy would have looked like. Honestly, let's say COVID still existed, but we did reelect Donald Trump. Would things be completely different or just somewhat different?
Completely different.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh, completely different.
I think they would have been somewhat different, but some of this stuff was done while he was in office.
Who?
Trump. Some of that spending, some of this inflation, I think we still would have had.
A lot of it was he did. How many did he have? 2 of the stimulus packages, or I don't remember how many he had. He
Yeah, I think
definitely had
so.
the first one, but I think there were 4 total. And at most, I think he had 2, but I don't know. Brad, fact check me.
Yeah, come on, Brad.
But I know if you think about the rapid pace, I mean, like, look at just the day one initiatives that President Biden implemented. And he did it all under this umbrella of the adult is returned to the White House. his entire inaugural speech was about unity and about bringing people together. He has done intentionally so, done the exact opposite. The idea of bringing people together was to say, here's how it's going to be. Join us or you're against us. And then he has given multiple speeches since then, most recently in the last 6 months or so, that double down on that idea of you're either with them or you're wrong. There's no dissenting opinion that is allowed to be discussed. I think that we would have had, he did 3.
There were 3 total. There was one in March of 2020, which would have been Trump, December of 2020, which would have been Trump, and then March of 2021. Now, March 2020 was a $1,200
so
check.
2021 wouldn't have been him.
No. So March.
2.
Right. He did 2 of the 3. But like the March 2021 was $1,200 and $500 per child. The December 2020 was $600 check with $600 per child, and then the March 2021 was $1,400 per income tax filer, $1,400 per child.
Whew. That's a Democrat one. The first two. I don't know. I know that the conservative thing to say here is that we shouldn't have done any stimulus. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
What we should have done is not shut the economy down. That would have been the anti-government intervention stimulus, would be let the market function and work and let people decide what they want to do and advise them on the best practices to keep themselves safe and other people safe, but not overlord and cause people to shut down and lose their businesses. But I don't think that we can Monday morning quarterback pretty much from March of 2020 till probably May of 2020. I feel like in May we started to see things change and know a little bit more, and the drastic government stranglehold on the movement of people and how they behaved lasted so much longer than that, especially if you live in a blue state like Illinois. Missouri, St. Charles, folks, I see you. I know. I get it. It's destination level stuff. If people are going to move out of Illinois to go to places like St. Charles, they'll skip right over the county. But the idea that you would go back and say Donald Trump should never have shut down anything or the first stimulus, I just don't think that that's a luxury we don't have to say. The subsequent ones, the second one he did, yeah, I think you can criticize that. And don't forget, he was talking about at the end of March, maybe the beginning of April, that people should be back in church for Easter. That was Donald Trump's mentality. And the apparatus, the big government apparatus around him, prevented that from happening. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner. Don't go away.
November is upon us, and it's time to give thanks. And one thing I'm thankful for is a clean home. And the pros at Zero Res really go a long way in making that happen. Their cleaning process is platinum rated by the Carpet and Rug Institute for superior extraction and fast dry time. The patented ZR process, which includes ZR Clean, does not contain any harsh soaps, shampoos, or detergents, so it's safe for pets and kids. But before you turn your furnace on for this winter, make sure you do something about the air ducts. The air ducts, the lungs of your home, if they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. So they got a great offer for you right now. Call Zero Res or go online to ZeroResSTL.com. Say you want the Mark Reardon special. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 with a free room of fiber protectant and $50 off air ducts. That's a total of $130 in savings. Take advantage of a great November offer. Call 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res. And make sure you tell them that Mark Reardon sent you over.
Hey, this is Wiggins, getting great reports from you guys listening and just checking out Genesis and Genesis of St. Charles. It is the shopping season, so as this long weekend begins, check out Genesis of St. Charles if you're looking for a new car, whether it's going to be a Christmas gift or it's a mutual gift that you and your spouse are looking at getting for each other, or whether you want to surprise them, that's fine too. Check out Genesis of St. Charles and you'll be surprised at what you can get for a luxury vehicle. It's really amazing that they start at about $55,000, which is uncommon in this market, and they could really jack up the price right now because everybody else is, but they're not at Genesis of St. Charles because that's the way they do business. You will never pay more than MSRP, and because because it's Genesis, you'll enjoy 3-year complimentary maintenance. That's all part of it. So visit Genesis of St. Charles. They're located in the St. Charles Hyundai showroom. You go in the Hyundai showroom, you say, I'm here to test drive a Genesis, or just see the models. They're part of the St. Charles Automotive Campus, just a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall on Veterans Memorial Parkway, online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. sidingexpress.com.
Now your Bite This Network traffic report. It looks like every vehicle in the country is currently headed to Hardee's for a saucy A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99. You heard that right. Every single car, truck, and annoying electric scooter thing, all heading to Hardee's. But don't take a detour. Hit the brakes on your hunger with a Charbroil Double Deal. Bite into the new A1 double cheeseburger for only $2.99, only at Hardee's. Tax not included. Available for limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price may vary. A1 is a registered trademark of Kraft Foods used with permission.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
An SUV crashes into an Apple store. I'm Frank Motek, Fox News. We're learning more about a horrific crash in Hingham, Massachusetts, where one person is now confirmed dead and more than a dozen others injured after an SUV smashed into the front of an Apple store.
We had a total of 17 patients arrive here in about 45 minutes of all natures of traumatic type injuries.
Dr. Jason Tracy is the chief of emergency medicine at South Shore Hospital.
We have patients who are in the operating room and patients that we anticipate going to the operating room. Again, all types of injuries that you would expect from trauma like this.
The driver of the SUV was injured, and authorities are still trying to determine if the crash was accidental or intentional. New details are being released today following the arrest of 2 men on charges of making threats to the Jewish community in New York City. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has the latest.
2 men face weapons charges as well as making a terroristic threat, arrested on Saturday at Penn Station. One had made anti-Semitic social media posts, including threatening to attack a synagogue. Mayor Eric Adams said that threat was real.
This was not an idle threat.
He says police recovered weapons, including an illegal gun with an extended 30-round magazine, a hunting knife, and that's not all.
And a Nazi armband. A Nazi armband.
He says extra security at synagogues will continue through Hanukkah.
Russia continues to press its invasion of Ukraine, and now the latest focus is Russian shelling threatening a massive nuclear power plant.
The Zaporizhia nuclear plant in the southern part of the country was rocked by 12 explosions over the weekend. The UN's IAEA said that came close to a significant nuclear incident.
That's Fox's Greg Palcott in Kyiv. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about lots of sunshine as we go through our Monday afternoon with pretty nice temperatures for a change, at least closer to where we should be. 53 with just a touch of a breeze. Tonight, clear, cold, light wind, 29 for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny, light winds and 55. Wednesday, sunny and 58. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, a mix of clouds and sunshine, maybe a sprinkle and 50.
This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey, if you don't know what to get somebody for Christmas, get them a gift card to Andrea's Steakhouse. That's a great date night. It's just a great meal. And if you've never been there yourself, check it out. It's in Fairview Heights in O'Fallon, Illinois. There, that is where they make Andrea's famous internationally known steak sauce, and you can pick up a bottle while you're there. You can get one at Andreas.com, of course. But this sauce has been around since 1978. It's a brush-on steak sauce created by Sam Andrea when he opened the award-winning restaurant in O'Fallon, Illinois. And you'll realize that this is a very, very different kind of sauce. It's very unique, and that's why people from all over the world order it, because you can't get it anywhere else. So we're kind of lucky here. You can pick it up at Dierberg's and Schnucks and area grocery stores. You go into those little boutique stores, and a lot of them will have it. But, of course, you can get it at Andreas.com or the restaurant, and it is super, super fresh, made right there on site. They don't make the recipe and then source it off to somewhere else. It's made right there. So pick up a bottle in Fairview Heights, Illinois, or at Andreas.com.
Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to BrentonVision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at BrentonVision.com.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
I've used it for a year now, and I've worried 0 time. I just enter in the time, it's calculated, and it's taken out of bank account, and it's just done. I love it.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
Accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Sail with American Queen Voyages in North America's mighty rivers, Great Lakes, oceans, and expeditions to the wilds of Alaska. Call 844-744-0794 or contact your travel professional.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
We know you won't hear it all, so we're highlighting as it happens on the socials. Follow 97.1 on Twitter and Facebook and weigh in. They can't ban all of us.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Monday, happy Thanksgiving week. We're happy that you're here with us on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. Are you guys follow? There have been a lot of major crimes. I can't do this like this for this.
I can hear you. Just take the hood off.
No, I don't. I wanted to talk about something serious, and I don't want to induce laughter, inexplicable laughter, because of what I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
However, there's another story out right now. I'm just going to read from Fox News, the latest report. First responders arrived to the scene after a vehicle crashed through the front of an Apple store in Massachusetts today.
I saw that headline pop up.
At least one person was killed in the incident, and 14 people have been taken to local hospitals, with 4 of them in critical condition, according to local media. The vehicle was still lodged against the back wall of the store as of early afternoon. They've called a tow truck to remove it. Quote, "This morning was an unthinkable morning and people are trying to get through it and process what happened." And, quote, "This investigation is active and ongoing. Several people were trapped inside the store until the vehicle could be moved. The store is reportedly nearing collapse after the incident." So there's that story. Was it last night? The shooting at the LGBTQ club, I think it was Club Q in Colorado. And
I think it might have been Saturday night.
Saturday night. So the suspect, charges have been filed against Colorado Springs mass shooting suspect Anderson Lee Aldrich. Authorities in Colorado filed charges Monday against the 22-year-old suspect alleged to have killed 5 people and wounded 25 others in a shooting at a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs over the weekend. Anderson Lee Aldrich is facing 5 counts of first-degree murder and 5 charges of committing a bias-motivated crime causing bodily injury following the mass shooting at Club Q, according to the Associated Press. The latter charges suggest authorities are considering the attack a hate crime. Aldrich, who is currently hospitalized after being taken into custody early Sunday, could be released this afternoon and possibly appear in court today, according to the district attorney. 5 people shot dead for being in a particular nightclub, 25 injured. And then there's the Idaho thing that's going on right now that seems super bizarre. Those 4 different, 4 college-aged kids, I guess they're kids, grotesquely murdered. And it seems as though they don't have a ton of details on that yet. According to Fox News, Moscow, Idaho had not recorded a murder in over 7 years. Fox News says Sunday marked 1 week since 4 University of Idaho students were discovered fatally stabbed inside their off-campus house. Records and reports show the killings were the first in the northern Idaho city in over 7 years, and other violent crime was a similar rarity. So this is new there. So what, like, is there a connection with all of these different? I mean, here, let me say this first, and then we can discuss it. I'm a church-going person. I'm a Christian person. We say, "Come, Lord Jesus, be our guest, and let these gifts to us be blessed." Amen. Before we eat meals, we pray before meals. I send my kids to a Lutheran school because I feel it's important that they learn about Jesus the first thing in the morning. That's a decision that we make for our household. These are things that we care about, that we value in our household. It's not what everybody values. My values are not everybody's values. In fact, a lot of my morality can line up very equally with other people's morality and come from very different places of faith, of Christianity, of other religious foundations. And as somebody who does talk about myself being a Christian, and again, when you hear me saying this, I think it's very easy for people to hear me talking about what you are. That's not what's happening here. I'm talking to you about what I am. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but if you're listening to the show right now, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, you have taken some interest, whether you love what we do or you're a glutton for punishment. You come back to the show for whatever particular reason. I'm a Christian. It's easy to pray and to get in a loop of being strongly rooted in your Christian faith where you become kind of insulated from things that take place in the world. You become, you surround yourself by certain kinds of people who maybe have those same beliefs. You practice, hopefully, what you preach, and know that even at the end of that, you're going to fail. And that's the whole point of Jesus and having a savior in my Christian faith. When I talk to my kids about not smarting off to their parents or being respectful or picking up your room or whatever it is that they're doing, and I'm trying to teach them to be good people, there's a difference between being a good person and being a Christian. A huge, huge, monumental difference. The idea that as a Christian that Jesus would exist, or I'm sure this would apply to other religions as well, but the Christian faith is what I understand, The idea that Jesus would need to exist the way he did and come to earth and give up his perfect life because of all of the brokenness in the world would have to indicate a certain magnitude of evil that would exist. And I find myself being self-critical here. I find myself really watering down and living in a G-rated, PG, sometimes rated version of evil. Because that's what I'm surrounded by. And God willing, I never have to get too close to any of this. But when you see these stories of these 4 Idaho kids, of this psychotic person who goes into an LGBTQ Club Q in Colorado Springs and shoots these people because he has so much hate in his heart. When you see people driving vehicles into parades and driving vehicles into buildings, is it important? We normally talk about news, headlines, of course, and politics. Sometimes we get into religion. Is it important for you personally, Ryan, and then I'll ask you, Brad, is it important for you to take yourself completely out of all of the politics? Because what we talk about here, we know we're talking to a large group of people. It is a conversation among friends, but what we say here has ramifications. But as a personal reflection, when you look at this stuff, is it important to really understand the gravity and the magnitude of evil?
Yes. Yeah, you almost can't understand the world without understanding the magnitude of evil and how deep it's gotten and how quickly we've all become pretty numb to it. And I'm not just talking about these stories, but these, to me, answering kind of your original question, do you find any sort of connection? I don't see any direct connection between these stories other than kind of what you're saying, the overall degradation of society. And the fact that the question that I keep asking, whether it's after a school shooting or after some sort of major incident that involves usually murder, why don't we value life anymore? What happened over the last 40 years or plus that we've just we don't value human life anymore? And that can be within the abortion conversations, but it's much bigger than that. I think we'd want to take it into abortion, but it's a bigger conversation to ask what happened. And I'm sure the answer is it wasn't just one thing. It was this slow degradation that got us to where we just don't care anymore. You don't care that these are other human beings anymore because you're numb to it.
There's a difference between, in my opinion, and I'm super pro-life, folks, but there's a difference to me between a woman who is frightened because she's pregnant and she's alone and she does not have the means to support the baby and herself at the same time, not being given the full information of what's going on, listening to people say, what are you talking about? This is your body. Just make the choice for what's best for you. Don't even listen to anybody. A woman who would choose an abortion in that circumstance, my heart breaks for her. I am not mad at her at all. I have no anger for her. I have so much hurt for her because she's hurting regardless which way she chooses. And somebody who will repeatedly stab these people in Idaho or go into Club Q in Colorado Springs and shoot people because they lead a different lifestyle than them, or drive a car through a parade and just, whatever happens. I mean, that to me is pure, unadulterated evil. And the thing about it is that scares me when I think about this. Again, I'm coming from the perspective of being a Christian, but I don't know that you have to be a Christian to kind of get what I'm talking about here, or maybe fit it in the context of your faith walk or lack of faith walk. I almost wonder if the status quo is this evil, if that's actually what we are. And it is our responsibility culturally to constantly push back on the complete understanding that is what we as a broken people are capable of. And then varying degrees from the grossest kind of evil that we're seeing in Colorado Springs, Idaho, and at that Massachusetts Apple store and in the was it a Christmas Day parade? It was a Christmas Day parade that guy just got sentenced for. If you believe that evil exists, as a Christian myself, I believe that evil is all-consuming. And there is no amount of goodness that I can exemplify through my life. There's no amount of good deeds that I can do to outweigh the brokenness that is intrinsically within me, and that the only way that has been taken from me is because of Christ, which is where Christian comes in. And the Christian understanding is that you are not ever going to be good enough, which is why Christ had to die. Like, that's the point. It's not about what kind of person are you. Like, people like to accuse Christians of being sinners. Yeah. That's like a foundational understanding before anything else in Christianity really ends up occurring. But if we continue as a society to worship self, which is what we do, we are at the epicenter individually. Everything that is out there right now is telling us that we ourselves are the most important factor in any equation. That it just seems to me like more and more of these things are going to end up happening.
Well, I don't think that we can teach that evil is that pervasive. I think we should be teaching that. I don't think we can teach that and also be teaching, but you can fix it, which I think is what you're saying. I don't think you can divorce the idea of an eternity or a Christ or some sort of cosmic justice from the solution, because we can't say everything is so evil, there's no fixing it, but you can try to fix it yourself. You almost have to add, but I know who can fix it, to that conversation. I think that's what we're doing right now.
Well, but it's separate, because there's a difference between fixing it on earth and making it whole in heaven. And that's where the Christian distinction, to me, like the idea that we would be made whole as a Christian, is not really an earthly completion. Pastor?
All right.
Use
So
the big words.
We're getting into like end time theology and stuff like that. When you talk about will it or will it not be fixed on
Well,
earth?
I don't want this to be a conversation,
no.
like a theological conversation. What I'm saying is we can. I don't think as Christians that we can hold other people to our standards that they don't subscribe to and be successful.
Well, like if you're like, how else do you share the gospel then if you don't?
Well, is your goal to share the gospel with your words or with your actions?
Yes.
Correct. Some people are going to be affected by words. Most people will be affected by actions.
But the question is, because at some point, like if you're doing it through your actions, they're going to ask you, well, what's different about your life? And then you have to use your words to explain why it is you live the way you live. So then at that point, are you not just holding them to your standards, or at the very least explaining what your standards are?
What you are talking about and what Ryan is talking about isn't wrong, but it's not the conversation I'm having here. So I want to redirect it. The idea that as a culture right now, we are instructed around every corner to put ourselves first.
Yeah.
Like we are our own gods in this culture. You are supposed to consider yourself before you consider anything else. In that culture, if somebody has hate in their heart, if there's somebody out there who hates gay people and they're putting themselves first, those ends justify the means every single time, because they have made themselves their own god and their actions are in worship of themselves.
Right. Well, I mean, the same could be said for desperation as well. Whenever you are the center of everything that is your world, your desperate acts and whatever your situation are, they're justified to you because it's helping you.
That's what I'm saying.
You're the ultimate thing. So it's hate, it's desperation, it's fear, it's all of these different things. At the end of the day, the problem isn't necessarily hatred as much as it is the focus on self, the arrogance to think that you are that much more valuable to whatever. You know, we've taken away any sort of meaning from people as far as, you know, you live for a higher purpose. There's more to your life than what you do. There's a legacy.
Even outside of any higher purpose, even like to set aside any sort of religious connection that might be Christian, it might be anything else out there, any other religion out there, to understand one's individual value, is it not your value to other people?
Your individual value outside of religion.
Can you have value if only to yourself?
No.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm a wife, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I'm a granddaughter, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend, I'm a sister. These are all things that I am. And if you were to ask me to talk about myself, pretty much everything that I would talk about would be in relationship with other people. We have, as a society, valued self, and then we've encouraged this kind of isolation from one another to where we do draw value from other people about ourselves. It matters. It does matter what other people think about you. It just matters what other certain people think about you. It doesn't matter what everybody thinks about you. It certainly matters to me what you think about me, because if you're not there listening to the show, I'm going to have to find another job. But it doesn't matter to me if somebody out there is super leftist, disagrees with pretty much everything I say, and think that I am, a waste of space on the radio. Well, because they think differently than me, I assume they're going to go along their way. That doesn't make me less value of a person compared to how my son sees me. My value as a mother is, at this point in my life, it's the greatest value I have because those people need me. And my existence on this earth is in relation to my children and to my husband and to my parents and to my siblings and to my friends. Think about everything that's out there that's marketing to you, that's trying to tell you where you should feel bad about yourself and what you should do to make yourself feel better about yourself. It's all about your truth. And, I think about the whole body positivity movement. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of good to that. I am glad that my daughters aren't being raised in the 90s and the 80s like I was raised, because there was a different attitude towards women and their bodies. But there's a difference between showing athletic bodies and is it ESPN or it's
The Body Issue?
The Body Issue, yeah, where they show athletes that look at different shapes and sizes. They're not all this carved out specific kind of figure. They show what different people look like, and they value that. There's a difference between that and what I grew up was glorifying grossly thin bodies that were achieved in incredibly unhealthy ways. And the pendulum has swung so far past the middle into the other area where we glorify unhealthy bodies that might be overweight. I'm not here to judge anybody's weight. I'm not here to tell anybody that they have less value as a human based on what the scale says, but we are monetizing things. It's all ends up being about money that says that you're not good enough, but we want you to know that you're good enough. You just need to do this. So we sell them something, and it's all about the individual person. It's never been about if somebody is fat or if somebody is skinny and somebody is making fun of them. Why don't we teach the person a lesson who is clapping back and speaking poorly and rudely to somebody? Why don't we get to the root of what is actually bad here, which is treating people in a bad way? Instead, we end up saying, if somebody is super overweight, and there's a whole movement out there right now that's saying, this is awesome, you be you. To glorify that is not a constructive thing to do to that person, but they're doing that in response to what people used to do, which was to demean them. That's absolutely horrific, too. There's got to be something in the
it's
middle
all
that
reactionary.
makes sense.
It's not really based on anything. It's just, I see that, I don't like it, so I'm not going to do that thing.
Well, it ends up being about money.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Let's talk more about this when we come back. I'll get more of your guys' thoughts on this. And if you want to comment on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page or the Annie Frey YouTube page, we are streaming live there. We'd love to have you comment and weigh in. The YouTube live chat poll is, should the new Republican majority remove certain Democrats like Ilhan Omar, Eric Swalwell, and Adam Schiff from being able to serve on committees, yes or no? We'll get to that at 2:45 with Hannah. More on this when we come back.
Noise is closing in.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
When you need to know what's happening, it's time to get in the huddle.
Whatever happened to teams saying, we're not going to pay you? Whatever happened to, hey, I know you're in your third year of your fifth year, contract, your 5-year contract. We're not paying you. Come back, play great. I don't give a damn if you unfollow us on Instagram.
Listen to In the Huddle, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
So I want to talk to you about air comfort service. The temperatures outside, of course, November, December are going to be up and down, but you want to make sure that when your furnace needs to kick on and kick in, that it is going to get your home in your comfort zone in a speedy way. Make sure that it's not just like running and running and running and blowing and blowing and blowing. We can't afford, with the energy costs going up so high, to have furnaces that are not working in good order. Corey and the team at Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Insulation want to wish you all a warm, comfortable holiday season. And if you are not in your comfort zone, a reminder to give them a call. Put this number down on a scratch pad or in your phone, and you can call them when it's convenient to you. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. When you are gathering together with your family and friends this holiday season, you want to make sure that you can relax in your home comfortably with the temperature under control without paying those super, super high energy bills. Air Comfort Service can help you with that whole process. 53 years of award-winning service, plenty of awards piling up at Air Comfort Service, and my endorsement as well as a frequent customer. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, my name is Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. In honor of our newest location in Cottleville, for any new customers, simply come into any of our 6 locations and ask us to pay the first $50, and we will. That's right. That means brakes, suspension, alignments, air conditioning, even our auto body work. Please come see our team or visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is without any inspections or need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-782-8000 or at chrisbuyshomeStLouis.com and get your cash offer without any obligation, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay their rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. And check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And get the offer you have been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com. Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com. Or call 314-782-8000.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
4 distinct seasons, sometimes within a single day. Dave Murray's got you covered with Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather. Every day on 97.1 FM Talk.
Listen for the best. My reputation's never been worse, so you must like me for me.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Any promises now can we be? But you can make me drink.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Look at you. Oh,
Well,
damn,
what we
if you
know,
seem like
it has the trappings of a hate crime, given who the victims were, the club. But I think it is premature to, be definitive about motivations because it's an ongoing investigation. Search warrants were done yesterday. That evidence is being compiled. Obviously his social media contacts are being scrubbed, and we're going to see what kinds of statements he's made to other people, what kind of evidence is found in his home that hopefully will enlighten us about motivations. But on the surface, it certainly has the trappings of a hate crime.
5 dead, 25 injured in a shooting at Colorado Springs. Club Q is a gay club, LGBTQ club. And the suspect is in custody. Yes, it's a hate crime. Right? I mean, yes or no? Hate crime?
Do we know for sure what his motive was? I haven't followed this very closely.
Hate.
So it was that he was doing it because it was a gay club.
I don't know that. I mean, that's my point.
Right.
If it were a straight club,
aren't they all hate crimes?
Are we more mad about this if those were heterosexual people than if they're homosexual people? Are we more mad if they're homosexual people than heterosexual people?
Well, I think there are people who would be.
I mean,
there's selective outrage for sure.
Maybe both, but that doesn't make any of them right. It really doesn't even make any of them wrong. But it's an opinion. I don't understand the value of attaching hate crime in a way that's like, this one was extra bad.
You can't make it extra bad if you don't, like, when you make something extra bad, you are by very nature of making something extra bad, something else not as bad. So if you say this is a hate crime, then if this person went in and shot up a regular club instead of a gay club, then you're saying, well, that wasn't a hate crime, and therefore it's not as bad as doing it because these people were gay.
The Massachusetts Apple Store car crash, vehicle careened into the car. Fox News is reporting that Massachusetts police have not stated whether the store crash was intentional. So, I mean, it has all the markings of other instances where cars have been used as weapons of violence to hurt people, but we don't know. But I mean, this is what we were talking about in the first segment, is just this understanding of the human condition. That's really what it is. Mm-hmm. And as a Christian, I view the human condition as born into brokenness. And that's what it, in my Christian faith, dictates the need for something to make me whole again. And I have that. But if you're somebody who is looking at the human condition from a secular viewpoint, and that doesn't mean that you would, I'm not trying to overcomplicate this, but I feel like I'm not doing it very well. I don't think that we can look at society and the human condition and see that we are fundamentally like really good people.
Yeah, that's
but
an accurate statement.
We try to do that, though, don't we?
We try to do that.
We try to do that to individuals all the time and say, yeah, but while everything else is broken, you're actually fine. You just need to find it within yourself. That's what we do.
Well, I mean, like you look at a baby, you'll say a baby, well, the babies are innocent and that sort of thing, and they don't have, but like, as babies grow up, you have to teach them to be good.
No, Molly is 17 months old,
Mm-hmm.
and her sinful nature is on full display.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to teach her how to not be defiant. Her mode is independence, shockingly.
Not with you.
And assertiveness. No. Again, all character traits from Jared.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it is so difficult to raise these children that are just like their father.
You just got to shrug sometimes because it's not you.
Yeah, it's completely not.
You're good.
All me.
Jared is bad.
You're fine just
good.
the way you are.
Yeah.
I know, from the inside out. Keep talking. Come on, anymore. Give it to me.
I've got an Alicia Cara song for you I'd like to play.
I watch my child. I can't remember what it was this weekend. She loves to say the word no. And it is like, it's not like a thoughtful no. Molly, come here. You're going to fall off the stage. No. And then she just like starts walking away. And it's like, you're like, no, but if you don't do what I say, you are going to tragically hurt yourself. And the parent is sitting here going, Molly, do not do that. You are going to hurt yourself. And she just looks over her shoulder and she's like, no. And there are some lessons that you just got to let her learn, which I told Brad about the other day. She was running wild in our house. And the more you confine her, the more it frustrates her. So you kind of try to let her have as much rope as you possibly can so she can enjoy as much space as freedom as she possibly can. But she found the ice maker and the water thing on the refrigerator, and she was reaching up for it. And I said, I'm just going to let her learn that lesson the hard way. Because if I tell her no, she's absolutely going to push that button. And I didn't know if it was set, because you have to set it. It goes between ice, crushed ice, and water. I didn't know what the setting was.
Crushed ice will take her a minute. She have to press for a while.
It's pretty quick. But she's reaching up there, and I'm like, I know that if I tell her no, she's absolutely, without question, going to push that button. If I don't say anything, or if I try to distract her, be like, hey, Molly, come here. You get your like really fake, excited parent voice on. Like something really exciting is happening over here, and then there's nothing.
Yeah.
If I do that, then the chances of her pushing that button have gone from 100% where I tell her no to probably like 50-50. And if she pushes the button and gets a stream of water on her face, sorry, now you know.
Yeah.
That's a lesson that you can learn. Falling off the stage is not a lesson you can learn. But the inherent attitude of children is absolutely defiant and obstinate.
So along those lines, you were talking about this a little bit earlier. I think that as a culture, we've misconstrued what caring about people actually is. Because like when you have that inward focus, like what we've been talking about in the past segment, where everything concern is yourself, you're number one in your life, you start looking at things like, well, if it makes me happy, it's good. And if it makes me upset, it's bad.
And that's what you're being sold.
And then the other side of that is then whenever somebody tells you something that is going to make you upset because you don't agree with it or whatever, i.e. you telling Molly to stop running on the stage, your motivation for doing that is good because you don't want her to get hurt. So you can say something to somebody that is going to maybe make them upset, make them frustrated, make them angry with you, but you can do it from a point of love. But as a society, maybe as you were saying, because we're being sold that, we're not allowed to do that anymore because what is loving is just letting people do whatever makes them happy. And that couldn't be the farthest from the truth.
Even if it means they fall off the stage.
Right.
And if love is telling someone, no, come back here, you're going to hurt yourself, versus what you're saying society is, and I agree with that, which is whatever makes you happy, I support you. If you feel like you want to go in that direction and that's what you want to do, I support you.
Right.
Even if you know, gosh, this is going to end up in an accident, in an injury. If we get to the point where we don't ever show people true love, they will never, ever find it on their own. Have you ever been, I mean, I don't want the details, but have you ever been told something difficult to hear by someone you love? And it it doesn't necessarily have to change the direction of your life, but it might make you pause and open your eyes a little bit and recalibrate.
All the time.
Many times.
I think that's what marriage is. Or at least it's my marriage.
Is you telling her that stuff all the time?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I see the way
Honey,
things should
sit down.
be.
We need to talk again.
Yeah, and it's love. That's what it is. I tell her every time.
That's how you open it up.
Yeah.
Honey, I want you to know I'm telling you this out of love.
Get ready. I'm going to go out to love you.
I'm going to decrease your allowance by 10% because of inflation.
And you know,
save money.
Like, and what's interesting to me about it is too, we talk about adults doing the same thing that children are doing. It's a lack of maturity and an inability to take constructive criticism or to understand criticism as coming from someplace other than you just don't want me to be happy.
All children want to do is make themselves happy immediately.
Right.
Like in that very moment.
That's what adults are doing. Nobody ever reacts, not in the history of humanity, has anybody ever reacted well to correction. However, now we're giving license to people when they get corrected, even if in love, because sometimes it's not, but even if it is, to say, well, you're wrong, you're hateful, I'm right. In that moment, you have an emotional reaction. We're giving them license to say, anything that makes me feel bad is wrong, therefore you're wrong.
Yeah, and they'll take it as far as not only are you wrong, but you hate me because you don't want
and
I'm going to want for me.
And I'm going to punish you for it.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thought experiment to look at these horrific events that are taking place across our country and across the world, but across our country specifically in the last week or so. And you got to ask yourself, what's going on? And I think that the end result of this conversation is that you have to ask yourself, what does love really look like? And then you got to ask yourself if you're giving it in the right places, at the right times, even when it's hard. Because I know I've taken some of those pitches.
We all do.
Because it's difficult.
It's easier.
And you ask yourself, what's the risk? And usually the risk is stress, anxiety on you individually. And maybe the risk is, like, I always think to myself, is it going to be stressful if I don't do anything? It usually still is stressful.
Yeah, you weigh whether it's going to be more stressful for you if you say something versus if you don't.
I want you to think about that this week going into Thanksgiving. You might be seeing people who you will bite your tongue. I saw an article. It was like how to talk about abortion at the Thanksgiving table. And I was like, yeah, don't.
Ooh, wow.
Don't.
Yeah, are you bringing that up at Thanksgiving?
And if somebody brings it up to you, just be like, listen, I love you more than I want to argue with you. So let's just talk about something else. Like, I don't. Is it a valuable thing to bring those conversations up? We can talk about that on the other side of this break. We'll also get to the YouTube live chat poll results. You need to go vote in here real quick before Hannah reads some of your comments and highlights some of your thoughts and gives us the results. Should the new GOP majority remove certain Democrats like Ilhan Omar, Eric Swalwell, and Adam Schiff from being able to serve on committees? Yes or no? They've announced that they are going to. Do you think they should? Yes or no? Go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube channel, the live chat portion. We will get your thoughts on that, the results, when we come back. Don't go away.
Dark jeans and your Nikes, look at you. Oh, damn, never seen that color blue. Just think of the fun things we could do.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
For the best. My reputation's never been worse.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Can't make any promises now, can we be? But you can make me dream.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Water Sweets Soap Company. Oh my gosh, I love these people. And I hope that you had the opportunity to go visit them this past weekend. They joined us on X's and O's last Friday. If you missed that, you can check the Annie Frey Show podcast or the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Water Sweets Soap Company has the most amazing products. They are affordable. And when you go visit them in store and you mention the Annie Frey Show, guess what? Free gift for you. Just make sure you drop my name in there and they will be so happy to see you. Here are some of the things that I love the most. Their signature body bar. I love the scent of energy. It's the orange bar, but they have so many other just beautiful scents there that you can pick out your favorite. But if you're looking for something to start with that energy and the energy sugar scrub. Oh my gosh, I love the sugar scrub. My husband uses the men's body bar, and they also have shave bars. They have hand lotions, lip balms. It's all natural products. They're all made right here in the Metro East, and you're going to be happy to be shopping local, especially Small Business Saturday, Black Friday specials. First 25 in store get a free bath bomb with purchase of over $49.99 and an entrance into a contest to win $100 shopping spree. Save 10% online by using promo code Annie at watersweetssoap.com.
This season, give the gift of Cardinals ticket packs. 5, 6, and 10 game packs are on sale now and feature 2023's highest demand games and promotional giveaways. Choose from the opening day pack, the t-shirt pack, bobblehead pack, and more. New for 2023, check out the swag pack. Give the gift that lasts all season, all baseball season. Cardinals ticket packs start at just $54 and are on sale now at cardinals.com/holiday.
Join the team in 23 with season
Tickets and secure the best seats at Busch Stadium. There's a plan for every fan. Choose from full, half, or the popular 27 game plans. Season ticket holders receive their own dedicated Cardinals representative. Plus, receive access to postseason tickets, opening day, a membership to the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum. For information, visit cardinals.com/season or call the Cardinals today, 314-345-9000.
Hi, this is Ken. And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Attention! Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-600-5536. That's 1-800-600-5536. 1-800-600-5536.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home this fall. For heating service, repairs, or a new HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Kurt Bard, who is the Director of Elections.
One change is that there's going to be voluntary voter registration by party. It's voluntary, so you don't have to.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us today. A reminder, Brian Kilmeade's coming to town Friday, December 9th. I'm going to be there. Mark Cox is going to be there. Mark Reardon's going to be there. And the 97.1 crew will be there. And we would love to see you. Make sure you reserve your tickets at 971talk.com/events. Dinner and book included, and Brian Kilmeade live on stage at the Missouri Athletic Club. Can't wait to be there. Can't wait to see you. Hope you come and say hi to me. Appreciate the opportunity to meet you. We were talking before we went to the break and before we get to the YouTube live chat poll about, there was an article that said how to talk to your family about abortion at Thanksgiving. Like, is that a scenario that could ever come up at your Thanksgiving?
I don't think so. And if it did, in situations where somebody just, you know it, where somebody's lobbing a dart, they're just hoping that something starts. I don't ever take the bait on those things. Somebody's got to drag me kicking and screaming into that conversation.
You're not the dart thrower, are you?
I am not.
Not the dart thrower.
Surprisingly.
Just here.
Yeah.
In front of all of St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just publicly,
just
not privately.
Checking. See where I rank. All right. What about you?
When I'm with Ryan on that, somebody's just lobbing a dart trying to start.
Would it come up at your...
I can't see it coming up. I don't know anybody in my family that would want to talk about that. My family is very much like, there are two things you don't talk about, religion and politics. And I'm a pastor and I'm on a political talk station.
Most people say there are three things you can talk about, but we know what the Range family talks about then. You know what the third thing is, right?
No. What is it?
Politics, religion, and...
Lipstick?
Well...
Something like that.
Sex!
That seems like one that's just...
I'll explain it to you later.
Yeah. That seems like one that I'm going to need to know a little bit more about before I let you know.
Hannah, do
that would
touchy
not,
topics come up at Thanksgiving for you?
That would not come up, and if it did, it would be shut down. That is not what Thanksgiving is about, and that would not be brought up.
What? What are you laughing at?
Why is that funny?
Just who's coming to Thanksgiving and be like, let's talk about some sex. I mean,
we're talking about abortion.
Well, I guess that does lead to it.
Oh my God.
Ryan.
Brad. Do something. You're the closest to him. I don't know.
He just knocked my drink all over me.
He did not. I just if it comes up in my at my Thanksgiving table, then the group is definitely small enough that we all know that we're in lockstep, and maybe it comes up as a topic of conversation because it was in the news or something like that, and we're all of like mind. But like, do not be bringing that stuff up in mixed company. Not interested. People brings. I'm the type of person, by virtue of what I do here for a living, where we might be in mixed company and people like come over and walk up to me and like whisper out of the side of their like, "So Annie, abortion," and I'm like, "No, not doing it. We're not doing that here. Like, I just want. Let me have a Thanksgiving too. Like, I don't want to."
See, I have a hard time even turning those people away if they come to me privately wherever I'm at. Like, hey, let's talk about this.
Well, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Just, I'll give them your address on Thanksgiving Day, and you can take them one at a time.
At the
Oh, hello. You want to talk about? Never mind.
Did you say bong?
Yeah, that's
This
what I
is
said.
Different than dong.
Dong. Yeah.
Which is
when you have a bell, a doorbell would
Here
be
we go.
bong.
No, it'd be well, yeah.
But if you have a bell like a breaking news, it would
Like
be dong.
A gong.
No, dong.
Oh.
It'd be
YouTube
a
live chat
big-
poll.
YouTube
Deep
live chat poll,
dome.
saving the day once again. Today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, should the new GOP majority remove certain Democrats like
Ilhan Omar
from serving on committees, yes or no? With over 179 votes, 92% of the people said yes, the new GOP majority should
92?
92%
Man.
say that they should remove certain Democrats from serving on committees. 8% say they should not.
Do you have any problem with the you started it attitude?
Not with this.
No?
Not at all. I'm like, go for it.
If the Republicans were to button it up and end it, not perpetuate it, not come back, if they were to end it, the Democrats would just start it again.
do it
all the time.
again.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, they both need to decide to end it. So I'm okay with it, especially like in the case of Eric Swalwell, who was entwined with
That's a legitimate security concern.
Yeah, a Chinese spy.
What is Eric Swalwell going to be best known for in his legacy?
It's either the fart
Which one? Which one?
or Fang Fang.
Which one?
I don't know which, because both are equally enjoyable to talk about.
At Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving, yeah.
At the right
Here
Thanksgiving.
comes the dart. I'm just going to yell out Fang Fang.
Oh, he said dart.
Or I might go the other Eric Swalwell route. Hey, everybody, check this out. Wow.
Dong.
Breaking news.
Dong. Well, at least he didn't break out the dong.
Oh, man. All right, Mark Reardon, it's your turn. Clean this mess up in here. We appreciate you being with us. Go get your Brian Kilmeade tickets at 971talk.com/events. And he was on the show today at 1:25. So rewind on the Odyssey app to pick that up or check it out on the Annie Frey podcast. We always appreciate you. We are always thankful for you. And the Mark Reardon Show right next.
And I got bad tattoos. What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the